fight the power like Big Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
HURYKANE 313.
This a breath of the ancestors. With this time my hawk, you get your head severed. Creep up in the building, get the fair records. My Beretta was gold plated with a suppressor. Feel the pressure of heavy rates, nothing lesser. I'm the god of storms, I control the weather. So clever, you fools should know better. When I come through better until the storm shelter. Flow better, hip-hop is forever. We take the government down, we write no letters. Take hold of the crime, we make the throne better. I turn this whole world into a Coachella. Pick up the pack of a pistol, pop you like pickle simple. People pack the pistols, the population of evil tremble. I resemble the revolution, no ancient temples. Haters better watch your tone, or you get dismembered. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. Cracking bottles overhead to make them wobble. Don't like the TV show, nigga, just change the channel. Genocidal, these lyrics might hold the title. Carry Bibles, mind goons, they carry rifle. Very tribal, sometimes be very primal. 8 or 15, I'm killing every rival. They say it's mediocre, cut you up into pieces and leave your body parts inside your easy sofa. Being a soldier, you see my soldiers, they creeping over. Parkour type shit, you see us sleeping over. Jack your chain, you understand, you catching hands. Kick your ass through the van, I think you dead, man. Fuck a fizzle, the fragile fickle. Feel like I got a blast at the government quicker than anybody, nigga. Split your body apart and throw you in the river. This the revolution, you gotta deal with us. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed. This the breath of the ancestors. Better watch your tone or get your head severed.
HURYKANE 313.
About to go berserk. Yeah.
Rogue One Productions.
Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch. Baby, come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on the spot. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch. Baby, come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on the spot. Baby, you the shit, hop up in the whip, turn the music up, baby, you know what it is. Party in the lot, party on the block. Fuck the 9 to 5, we gon' party on the clock. Then after that, she gon' party on the clock. Baby say she love me, but I know she a bop. Bop used to mean a fucking song that is hot. Now all it means, she's a motherfucking thot. Fuck a definition, put her in position. Smoking on the blood while I smash her in the kitchen. On another mission, yeah, I'm going fishing. For a bad chick, put her legs to the ceiling. Now I'm suited up like a James Bond villain. About to kill the government in 49 minutes. Smash me a chick about 35 minutes. Girl, I gotta go, gotta handle my business. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch. Baby, come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, get me smoking on snit, showing off her tits. Walking through the hood, seeing who she gonna pick. Baby, you the shit. Come on over here. Smoking on the loud while I'm drinking on the beer. Told me your name, hopping in the range. See the storm coming, yeah, we fucking in the rain. Smoking on the flame, going to a brain. Fuck planet Earth, yeah, we on another plane. Hold up the liquor, roll up the swisher. Me and your bitch going down by the river. Like a power tool, hell yeah, I'm a driller. She like Futurama, told the bitch, call me Bender. Bricks in the fender, sell it like a winner. Sell it January all the way to December. With a bad chick, I'ma eat her up for dinner. Just got some weed, baby, hand me the swisher. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch, baby. Come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch, baby. Come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch, baby. Come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fat, loud pack, yeah, we smoking on the spot. Got a fire, baby, let me turn it up a notch, baby. Come on over here, let me show you what I got. Got a fat.
All right. All I said was Hurricane's about to kill it. That 6ix9ine Mafia part. Get a swisher. When I unload bullets, you know it's gonna split ya. That shit was fire. Anyway, YouTube wouldn't even let me write kill. Yo, that shit's soft. You know, you can't even say kill a man no more. To be like, I unalived. He was unalived. It's a new proper way to say it. Sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry I was swearing. Let me kiss your ass so I could get paid 50 cents. Puffing on the swisher. Oh, man. I was trying to get some like Mortal Kombat backgrounds that have a longer play. Like this one's all right, but it gets a little played out after a while when it keeps switching to the same shit. You know, they should come out, or I'm gonna see if I could create my own background where it's longer. But yeah, other than that, it gets annoying after a while. I'll stick with this. What's up, Don?
Morning, Charles. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, as well as I can be.
That's a good start. For always hitting this up here. What characters are going to show up?
Yeah, yesterday when Tombstone said that you were dissing me.
I
don't think you're dissing me. I think you might not agree with everything I do, but that's fine. That's why I don't even trip.
Again, that's noise. It's always fun when somebody projects. I was pointing out certain scenarios just to see whether or not you'd be true to yourself in different scenarios. You know, a disc would be something in private, and he would know I disc him. Outside of that, that's just noise. He likes to repeat the same story.
Shit, there was 8 people around. I'm definitely taking my hands out.
Sure you would. Charles, if you didn't, I'd be like, okay, guys, I guess his mom didn't raise him to be a smart one.
No, I've seen what being so-called hardcore can do to you.
Well, you can ask very, very politely. May I ask you, young gentlemen, whoever, or gentlemen, why would you want me to take my hands out of my thing? Already at that point, if I start seeing him leaning towards me, okay, it's a non-discussion, I guess. And the example was, what's the difference between that and a bunch of cops? You know, the guy that
It's worse with cops.
It can be, Charles. Like maybe from your own personal experience, it is. I can't tell you one way or the other. I can hear you. You know, everybody has their own
I
stories.
watched those videos, Dom. You ever watch them on Here's the Deal? You probably don't watch them. That guy, Brian.
What is it about?
He shows, man, there's so many videos of cops. Just, it's almost like the Constitution don't exist anymore. He just points out a lot of things, and his arguments, man, he would do pretty good if he can debate. His arguments would probably hold up for sure. But the cops, most of the cops don't even know the Constitution, which is a little scary. They're supposed to be law enforcers, but you know, I know there's good cops somewhere, but they're outnumbered by fucking low IQ dummies.
Don't know, Charles. That's overgeneralization for me. You know, I'm pretty sure throwing a book called The Constitution between two guys with a gun and a chain kind of wouldn't last long.
Gun and a chain.
You know, that's like saying
I love that sovereign citizen, man. That thing's hilarious when they say that. I'm like, which one are you?
Well, first of all, you can be a sovereign being, which most of us aren't because we're living in civilization. And only reason why somebody will call himself a citizen is because they're acknowledging somebody else calling you. It's like being called a peasant. You know, it's like calling a cat a cat. Does a cat actually know it's a cat? So now when people basically acknowledge the word citizens, you're basically agreeing with your slave master's name. The fact that they put sovereign citizens together is like conspiracy theory. Those are two words that should probably never be put together. But I get where you're coming from, Charles. And I think a lot of people ignorantly hide behind the Constitution. And then there's other people say, I could get two shits about it. You know, it's like if you were religious, God said, love thy neighbor. Okay, that's a nice point, but doesn't mean I care about it. You know, again, we're just looking at guys with different kinds of stripes on. In this case, it's cops. It could be military. It could be Taliban. You can call it whatever you want at that point.
Trust none of them.
Yeah, the fact that people live in a country where the illusion of freedom is, that freedom could be taken overnight. And then at that point, if you're a badass and you really care about your family, you're going to be hanging upside down. I'm not saying I'm the one that's going to do that. And it's not because, oh, yeah, they're going to kill you. No, they're going to make you suffer for a couple of weeks. You know, it'd be like skinning a man opposed to shooting him in the back of the head. Which one would you rather have? What's your preference? You know, I get it. You know, in America, unfortunately, they make a lot of money by putting people in jail because that's all about economics. They don't give a shit about that in other parts of the world.
I was gone for literally 1 second. I closed the screen, like I closed the thing down by accident. I just shrunk it. And when I put it right back, it kicked me out already. I'm like, God.
Well, you're getting kicked out, Charles. That could be a good thing.
Kicked out of my own house.
Yeah. No, I misunderstood. Yeah. I might have misunderstood or didn't hear the point when you said you would take your hands out of the gun, out of your pocket, and I apologize for that. But prior to that, I was hearing different scenarios. Okay, well, Don, what's the scenario? I'm just telling you, it's like, why would a bunch of cops pull over somebody? You know, it could be many reasons, probably a lot of them probably invalid. But nevertheless, if their sergeant says, listen, guys, I want you to pull suspicious people out. What do you mean? People with done-up cars. Pull them over.
That's wild.
Yeah, and there's a lot of...
Suspicion is becoming a crime, though. Suspicion is becoming a crime. Like, cops will be like, how do I know you ain't going to do this when you leave here? I need your name, just in case. Like, damn, bro, you creating shit in your mind.
It can be, but again, if they're good cops in the sense that they've been trained the way they've been trained, that's how they're going to act. Now, it's usually the ones on the other end, you know, the citizens, whatever you want to call them, gangsters, humans, pedestrians. You know, there's all kinds of...
Hey, I'd shot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem, Charles. Like I said, there's all kinds of policies out there. You can get pulled over or be arrested for jaywalking. Now, somebody might say, I don't agree with the system. Well, you got to take that up with the lawmakers. You know, it's like when I work electrical, some people might say, well, I don't agree the way this particular product works. I say, well, you have to take that up with the manufacturer. My job is to learn how to use that particular product and how to install it. I might not agree with it, Charles, and I'm the kind of guy, privately, I'll have those discussions. But publicly, to talk about not liking the cops, that never turns out well.
Damn it. I forgot what I was going to say, man.
You know, and again, I'm just using that as an example. That'll be like talking about the World Bank or the United Nations, and then start revealing certain information. Next thing you know, if there's such thing as them, they point their direction towards you. It's not going to be favorable. You know. Now, a person has a death wish. Yeah, do whatever you want. Just make sure you make it a caveat. Guys, I really don't give a shit if I live or die. Okay, so then you're talking about cops the way you are. That makes more sense. Because then you'll know your followers will say, listen, so what are we, a cult? We're all going to wear Nike clothes and we're going to go to the police station and start fighting them? Because that's what a lot of people do, whether they know it or not. They're trying to have a cult, and they want to, you know, this lives matter. We're going to go downtown and we're going to protest. Okay, protest about what? You know, are you a victim? Did you get personally victimized, or did your forefathers get victimized?
What a name. Protest. I'm a protest.
There you go. Pro-abortion and protest. There you go.
I don't even know why they would call it protest. What test are they a pro in?
Opposed to the contest. Contest. Think about the word contest.
We got it wrong.
Yeah, it's all fun to talk about it, Charles. You know, that's the impression I go with it. So if we're talking about it, we should be able to play with words. The guy that gets all upset because I say a particular word, I'm like, okay, that conversation's done then. No sense having a conversation with him anymore.
We call them words.
Was that Charles? I missed that part. What do you call him? I think you're muted, Charles, or I can't hear you.
No, if I switch over, I'm trying to get some pictures in the lineup. Because I just found some architecture. But, see, I forgot what I was going to say again. Jesus.
Jesus. You have to get Jesus to remind you.
Jesus, where are you when I need you? You're never around.
Yeah. It's always funny when I hear somebody declare himself as an atheist saying the word Jesus or God. I'm like, well, why would that word come out of your mouth? You're an atheist, aren't you? It's a term.
Oh, I was watching this video, like, you know, people think because they wear a mask, they're straight when they do crimes. Well, one thing the dummy forgot to do was shut the fuck up. The cop's like, we got you. You wore a mask, but you spoke to your brother. You know? And that's how they convicted him. Even though he had a mask, his dumb ass spoke, and the camera had, you know, it picked up his voice, and they got him right there.
Yeah, those nickels and dime criminals, they're wasting space in jail. If you're going to do a crime, make sure you put a lot of thought behind it.
Nowadays, you're better off just making money legally. You know, you got the internet. You could do everything way much faster. Even if you sold T-shirts, you have more of a wider range to sell them because of the internet. Like, doing crimes nowadays, you're most likely going to put yourself in a fucked up position. If you don't know how to, like, spot certain technology or stop certain technology, you're fucked. If they don't get your voice, they'll get your face. If they don't get your face or voice, they'll scan your eyes. I mean, I could go on forever, man. You got fingerprints, DNA, fucking probably they can know the tone of your farts after a while, so they'll know it's you.
I think, Charles,
What's
when
up,
it comes
Tommy?
I think when it comes to people doing activities that would be classified as criminals, I'm going to generalize, obviously, where I think quite a few of them, the criminals, they're too busy trying to chase the lifestyle that they can get from it. So it's not about the steady money that they can get. And then there's criminals that it's a life career choice. You know, they do it and they're going to probably teach their kids or the people in their gangs. But for some people, they basically want to rob a bank or whatever because I want to be able to live comfortably. So you're after a lifestyle, and that's just one way of doing it. So to be online, to make a living, unless you're going to hire a whole bunch of people, you know, like a company like The Beast or Joe Rogan, they hire people. It's not a one-man outfit. You know, a guy like, what's his name, Elon Musk. You know, behind every billionaire or trillionaire, there's crimes being had. It's just that they're paying people. They're running a business, regardless if it's a criminal business, but it's a business. But you get a lot of guys, you know, they're nickels and dimes. You know, they don't agree with something, so I'm gonna steal some fucking Nike shoes. Okay, so what are you gonna do with Nike shoes? Well, I'm gonna bring it to the Caribbeans and I'm gonna sell them there. Okay, so you're nickels and dimes. You're not like one of the big organized Chinese gangsters where they bring all kinds of big, you know, boatloads of material, you know, or a biker gang that you know, pulls over a whole bunch of 18-wheelers, and you know, those are organized crime. There's the word, organized.
I'm gonna sell 2 pairs. I'm gonna take 2 pairs to fucking Jamaica.
I used to have buddies. That's what they used to do. They go on vacation.
For real, 2 pairs?
Maybe about 3 or 4 pairs. They go there, play hoops, either Barbados.
I mean, if you could double your money, why not? You know, and you just so happen to be going there, fuck it, do it. But
well, back in the 80s, they would. I remember my buddies used to go there. He said that it'll pay for my trip. Some of my cousins, or their cousins' friends, are going to buy some of these shoes that they can't get in Canada or the States, and then they would sell it. I'm just using that as an example, but even in Europe, you know, people bring in certain kinds of liquors or cheese over. They try to stop that now at the airport, which I get to a certain point. But, you know, because whatever organization's running all of this have put everything in sections. Like, think about cars. Charles, we live in America and Canada, North America. We drive on one side of the road. You go to England, they make it, the manufacturer makes cars to drive on the other side of the road, and the steering wheel's opposite. You know, go figure that, right? I remember the first time I went to Malaysia. My cousin's husband, Faiz, had mentioned to me, because I went onto the what we would call the driver's side, but over there it's the passenger side. Faiz goes, "So Dom, are you planning on driving today?" I said, "Oh, I forgot." You know, didn't have my international license, but if I did, I would have drove. It would have been hard to do the stick on the opposite side, but again, where I'm going with that, Charles, it's organized. Whether it's a crime being made or it's business, whatever. You know, that's why when people talk about the police, that's lower level shit. Even though that's a big industry, but it's pretty lower level. That's just to keep the citizens in line, you know. And then they hire citizens to become police officers. That's the fun part. It'd be different if it was a whole bunch of other people coming from other countries, which they are, but eventually they become citizens. So that tells you the value of your citizenship. A total foreign can come there and have a citizenship, run a business more efficiently than most people that live in that country do. So I guess they're with the program at that point. Anyway.
Damn, I'm muted now.
You're back. I can hear you.
Yeah, peace to DL and Warren. I don't know if y'all heard that. And Chillster Deluxe. Oh, they're dumping chemis in the sky. They were dumping here the other day, pretty bad. Whatever they're dumping in the sky.
So, question. Okay, I know you guys like to talk about this chemtrail stuff. Do you remember when a lot of the lakes, like Lake Ontario, Lake Erie's and all that, it was being polluted?
I don't remember, but I could look it up.
Okay, well, back in days where, You know.
Well, that's why I just want to say, I'm like 50-50 with the chemtrails. Like, they're doing something now. I know they have that technology for airplanes that they run it on air. I think it is compressed air, but I don't know, whatever they're making a line with, it ends up spreading out to a blanket, which is odd. And then I want to see soil samples and water samples too. I want to do it myself. I've been saying this forever, but I got to figure out where to get these water sampler things and soil.
Well, I have
because
a
if there's
cousin.
a lot of aluminum and strontium in the soil, then I know we were pretty much right and we're on the right track. If it's not, then it's not.
Well, I have a cousin. Her daughter works for the Canadian. I forget what industry it is, but one of her main tasks is to study the effects of plastic. So as they're distracting people with chemtrails, what happened about all those dumps that we had, or the polluting of our lakes?
That's another good one, Dom. Plastic, man, that's very toxic. You're right.
So they use the media to distract groups of people. Like, to me, chemtrail people are like people that are putting a lot of focus on flat Earth. They made you into a group. So now you're stargazing, in this case, UFO spotting or chemtrail spotting. Okay, but what about those dumps? What about all that plastic that all the carbon that Amazon uses? So if to focus on one thing is divide and conquer, opposed to addressing a lot of things. So there's a lot of things that are polluting, and we're participating in it. How many people would stop drinking water out of a plastic?
How about the toxic food we eat? What happens when you shit the toxins out? That's another problem.
All the medicine
that becomes toxic.
But the distraction. Yeah. Let's worry about fluoride.
Plastic is a good one, Dom. I think I'm gonna start speaking on some plastic, because I've spoken about it before. Of why don't we clean up all this plastic everywhere? Because I've seen videos of the oceans are fucked up.
Max would be a good person to talk with, because he knows all the different variations of the BPs. So he's done some research on that.
I've seen them on I was watching. Not only do people use a microwave, which is bad, like I don't think. Well, yeah, the frequencies are bad for you, but I think it's more or less what is pulling what it does to the food is what I'm trying to say. And then if you got plastic in the microwave, oh man, and you're heating that plastic up with food you're about to eat, not only are you getting doses of plastic, you're getting radiation doses too. Like, we got ourselves fucked up here.
Well, Charles, here's one. What about, because remember, when people used to have like the mom and pop grocery stores, everything was homegrown. So today, when fruits are coming from... I miss them
days, man. I miss them.
Okay. Well, today, with all these foods coming from everywhere, a lot of times, regardless if the foods are healthy or not, we're eating them out of season. Like, are we really supposed to be eating certain types of food in winter? This system is set up a certain way. Like, people have put effort and they've let that out there. I'm not saying I practice it, where Monday there's a certain type of food that you should eat based on the color, say with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So again, this is all energy, and until we actually narrow and start talking about that, we're talking about a bunch of band-aid things. GMO. I don't agree with the biggest problem with foods going to waste is the logistic part. You got to ship all these foods, pre-pick them when it comes to fruits and vegetables. And then you have the animals where you're basically slaughtering them, putting them all in one big fucking bin, putting some glue to get all the pieces together. And then you feed them to the citizens. And the only thing they're concerned about is you should be selling this healthy food. That's impossible. Part and partial because the logistic plays a major role in it. A lot of the foods that go to waste is because of that. It has an expiry date on it. As soon as it's brought into the shelf, you got a certain period of time, and then you have a whole bunch of people rushing to the grocery stores, worrying about COVID, rushing to get toilet paper, but meanwhile they're rushing to get some Coca-Cola or some Pepsi. At that point, it tells us we're somewhat asleep, and I'm being polite when I say that because I know I'm kind of asleep. And when I become aware of that, I scratch my head. I'm like, okay, so I'm going into a grocery store. Which one's the lesser of all evil? Probably the cardboard, because I can at least describe what the cardboard is. You know, but then people will complain, well, they're not selling us food that are healthy. Is it really big corporations' responsibility to sell you foods that are healthy? I don't think it is personally. I think anything else, it's all about profit, making a profit. So then at that point, is it a moot point to worry about whether or not they're throwing stuff up in the skies? You know, Charles.
It's becoming ridiculous.
Welcome back, Charles. You got a map there. What is this all about? I see planetary grid.
I just use it for a backdrop.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was pretty cool, and people could look at it.
Like who's going far enough away? I know that's all like a depiction of it, and they draw a map that we have to make the assumption that's the way the Earth is, or at least the absence of water, the dry land is.
I don't know if this is how it really is set up, but I know one thing. On the old maps, I've noticed they used to have grid lines on the land, the ocean, the actual grid lines. As time goes on, those disappear, right? The grid lines on the maps for the land disappeared. Then they disappeared in the ocean. Then the North Pole lands disappeared. And slowly but surely, a lot of the shape of Australia changes. Then Australia, Antarctica becomes Antarctica. But I guess we can say everything's in a constant change.
Well, the pictures are, and they're just fucking with our brains. You know, like again, even the old ancient.
That
map.
too.
Was it being taken from the moon? You know, like especially when they talk about ancient, I said, okay, are they failing?
What
to
do you
tell
think
us
about the moon, Dom? You don't have to answer this right away, but after, I'll ask you when you're done.
I was just
So I
going to
don't
say,
confuse you.
go ahead. No, talk about the moon. Like to answer your question, I would speculate it could be a satellite.
Have you read about the times before the moon when there was no moon in the sky? And I wonder about these gates they talk about in the Book of Enoch. It says in Enoch that they took Enoch up to the firmament to where the stars are stored, which is very interesting. So that means he went to the firmament. But anyway.
It could be. And again, kind of like in Revelation, when I think the character named John, you know, taken up in the spirit. So a lot of people just assume when they hear it being taken up, you're being taken up in the vessel? Like, you know, like most people have to practice a lot just to get to the
No, he had to
elevation.
park the vessel.
I would assume so. But again, that's what I'm doing. I'm assuming. You know, I'm
He parked the
speculating.
vessel in what we call a bed. And then they came and scooped them up. The spiritual bus came.
It could be. You know, maybe maybe your mom and my dad are in the spirit. I don't know. You know, some people.
That would be cool.
Yeah, you got to take with a grain of salt. And you know, some people say I'm talking with the people that have moved on. Okay, I'll hear you. You know, I can't attack somebody or attack something that I've never experienced. I can hear them. That's why I always find fun when people say, well, Dom, I don't believe in any of that other stuff or whatever, spiritual stuff, astral or remote viewing. I said, okay, but how can you really attack it? Most people attack it out of ignorance. Well, Dom, I read it and it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so you're telling me it's your senses. When you get taken up in the spirit, are you using your senses? By the way, just in case that doesn't, resonate with people. When you go to sleep, are you playing with your senses? That would make you question, well, maybe I'm not the senses then. Maybe you're not. You know, what are we, like an Apple computer? Once you close it and all of a sudden the little light says you're in sleep mode? Again, these are, from my point of view, speculations. I'm willing to entertain speculations. Now, but I'm grounded enough to know that if I want to exist here, I got to go to work. And if I don't want to go to work, I got to do something to earn what's a common medium between most humans. This is a piece of paper, because I can't go to the grocery store and say, listen, you know, I kind of know the Earth's surface. Can you give me some apples? Excuse me? You know, it's usually people that are very materialistic and they become very fundamentalist. You know, they think it's only the material. I said, okay, well then explain where air is. If you're such a materialist, explain it. Well, we just say that word. Okay, so then you don't know where it is, do you? No. So can we at least speculate where we think it is as we're breathing something that we call air? Well, not really. There you go. And do you think those two things up in the sky are material, by the way? You know, you point to the sun and the moon and say, okay, do you think those are material? Just because everything here that you see is material, and we just talk that you don't know where air is, and you don't know where thoughts are, I might as well throw that on top of it. But meanwhile, and then what you usually, Charles, you just keep quiet and you just watch them just fucking flap their mouth. Talk about fuck all. Maybe they'll re-embrace the fact that they're worried about the color of their skin or their gender. I said, okay, there you go. Back to the indoctrination now. Opposed to entertaining ideals. Ideals is another way of saying a belief system. I don't mind ideology. It doesn't offend me. Neither does belief systems. But for some people, they have to have an enemy. So therefore, I have to hate religion because I don't like the belief system. Okay, but you'll follow the commerce belief system, dogma, and you'll talk about science dogma, but yet you'll attack religion. Okay. Sadly, Charles, I'm actually waiting for a little bit more in-depth conversations, and I don't mind the speculation part. But for a lot of people, they like to ground themselves with the same old shit water cooler conversation.
Damn.
Well, you're getting washed out all the time. Every 3 minutes, you're
Because
getting booted out.
I'm just gonna not do it. I'm trying to like download some pictures, and I gotta crop them. Hey, fools and tools, how you doing today? And it just keeps booting me out. Like I used to be able to have two windows open, and then I would work on the other window and still be able to hear and talk to you guys. But unfortunately, I'm getting shammed today.
Did you clear your cache and some of your previous history? Maybe you have too much stuff going on in the background of your computer.
Maybe, but I can't give up. Excuse me.
Great light.
What's up, Yahweh?
Most a great light to you.
It's the Most High. What's this? Yeah. Oh, Schnizzle Pop. Oh my God, dude.
So what y'all was talking about? Y'all still there?
All right.
Yeah, I'm still here.
God damn.
I thought something went wrong with my device or something.
What the fuck, man? I'm about to spaz out. Fucking people, man. My friend keeps calling me, right? He's fucking butt calling me somehow. I hate when people do that shit. You ever get that and you're like, yo, what's up? And you can hear the person in the background. They're on retard mode. It seems today 90% of the population's on retard mode. Make sure you're not on retard mode. Okay.
You know, check and retard is anonymous.
Huh?
Check, CHECK, and retard are synonymous with each other.
Jake the Snake.
Check.
Hey, I want to try to get my brother on here. He's not my blood brother, but I know he's going to say no if I try to get him to come on here.
Everyone's on check mode. Yeah, nowadays.
95%. Oh my God, dude. I'm about ready to punch this cat when I see him. It's the third time in a row I didn't even answer. Like, how many times can you possibly call? What's that shit called? NFC, yeah. NFC. Yeah, they showed this video where this woman had her NFC on, and that's how you do transactions digitally. And she had it on, and some guy walked by and took money from her phone. But that's bullshit. That ain't possible. At least not on my phone. Because if someone goes to scan it, it's going to pop up and you got to okay it. So they be putting some fake shit on the internet. Maybe on an Apple shitty phone, you could do it. Oh, good. Oh, my God, bro. I'm going to punch.
So do you want to entertain the word retard?
Dirt.
Its definition or its meaningful way of using it?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Its
Merry
definition.
Christmas. What?
FT does that. Merry Christmas. Maybe you have to break down the word
Merry Christmas and a diarrhea New Year.
What New Year are we talking about? April 1st or January 1st?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't even know anymore.
Here's one, Charles, and Yahweh. Biblical story. They talk about the age of certain characters in there that are 900, 1,000 years. There's an assumption because people just, they hear the word 1,000 and like, okay, but how has humanity changed? So now if people go back to the way they used to talk about the calendars of 4 weeks of 7 days, 28 days, and then you have a 13th month. Once you start doing the numbers of the 13 months, you start and you multiply the moons. That's why they used to do all of that. You start multiplying by a person that's 80 years old, you're going to reach around 900 to over 1,000. They used to follow a lunar calendar. Hence why they used to say people like live 900 or 1,000. They're basing it on the moon. But people, for some reason, go a little bit haywire and they think it's consistent, where no, it's the same year that we have today. No, it's a different calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to wait for the typical conversations, I guess. If you want to talk about, somebody's lives matter, you want to talk about chemtrails, you want to talk about the elites.
True.
Talk about how America's the best country in the world without going to other countries. We'll talk about the inequality of the human race. What numbing things you guys want to talk about? Hence retarded.
Everyone's true life is unique.
Oh, it is unique. I won't deny it. We're all unique. My existence verifies that.
Yeah, we talk about the truth because everyone has a unique story.
I'm always kind of weary on that, Yahweh, when the word truth comes out.
Man, I'm an English actor.
Since it's been abused.
Man, why is this so dull?
This is how it was when I came to Earth. It was like, feel the truth. Did you do it? Yes, ma'am.
What?
I just mimic people. Like I really don't know what I'm talking. I don't know. I don't know how it feels to be, whatever it is to feel to be, Hey, do you know we can find things in the words you're using? And I'm like, bruh, what you done found this time? I'm an English actor. I think it's obvious, though. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to use English to say it. Like, I'm at home, but they be like, home is another place. I'm like, oh, okay, shoot. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know. Mm. You know that a hot dog bud can hold a hot dog? And like, I don't know. I don't know.
True. There's probably a lot of us in a lot of areas we don't know. Hence why I enjoy speculating, because I don't know. If I did know, my question would be, why would I be speaking about it?
And quiet.
Yeah, welcome back, Charles.
Yeah,
Just to
the only
wake you
one
up.
thinking
Boom.
about it.
Ah, that's his noise. I think he's a noisemaker.
Hold on. I got
Just
this will wake you up.
the only one that knows what I'm patient, you know that people the way it is.
That's the
The
lamest gunshot I ever heard.
way I imagine them to do it.
You hear that? The gunshot? That shit sounded like a fucking. Oh, okay. It's a little better. Oh, that is kind of crappy. That shit sound like a fucking a gun with a flat tire. Yeah, that's awful. That's wild. Kumis. Man, I got some bugged out neighbors. Oops. When I tell you they're bugged out, they're bugged out. It never fails, man. I don't know how these landlords, but they know how to pick psychos. That's for fucking sure. Let me get these boots off.
I don't know. Is everyone's true life true?
All right.
Dom.
What happened?
Is everyone's true life truth? I'm just learning now.
Is everyone's life true?
Yeah, they true life.
I don't
Yeah.
know. What's their true life? If their true life is true, then it's already true.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? Here's my other flipper. I need my flip flop. My gun, my chanclito. Damn. What's up, Paula Nitz? Heart of the Earth. Peace to Heart of the Earth, Paula Nitz. All right. Let's see if I could get some more of this architecture without getting booted out. I'm so tired of people slamming doors. Childish, man. These are grown people slamming doors like they're fucking 10. Society is a disappointment, man. Like I'm any better. Hey, dude. Are you doodling in your pants? Wow, wait till you see this. What the fuck is this? Instead of a Doppler ganger, it's a doodle ganger. Alright. I bet you it booted me out. Because I don't hear nothing.
I can hear you, Charles. Well, that was a good inquiry, by the way, Yahweh. True light. What is a true light?
What is a true life? What is it?
Words to me initially. Words. What is true? What is the light? You know, people say they have a near-death experience or the light. You know, but what is true? Is it true like a wheel? You know, like I just put it in my back. True north. What is true north? You know, true opposed to truth. Two different things.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. It's what we use words. But even if we did know, how would we explain it? With words, so that we can get back into the meaningful parts of it. It's almost like a tongue twister at that point.
Yeah, the world is a stage.
And we're the actors and actresses. We're all handed scripts. And
One man. I forgot how I go, but it's one man. And one man in his time.
you're crazy out, Yahweh. I personally can't hear you completely.
One man in his time plays many parts. It's what the all the world is a stage quote.
And we're all playing as the illusion. We're all in the illusion. Or at least I'm playing the illusion. Your thoughts.
Yeah, but what you're saying is an illusion, because you're the illusion, scan it. They, am I acting with the illusion, properly? The proper way to act with an illusion. I am the one man that
I guess, Yahweh, depends on how somebody wants to look at what is an illusion. Is the thoughts the illusion? Is the idea that a person thinks or feels that they're the body, is that the illusion? Is going to work thinking that eventually in some future domain, as the vessel ages, things will be different? Is that the illusion? Or is it all the illusion?
Yeah.
You know, I get what people talk about what's real, but you're looking at something from a sense. Is that the illusion? You know, I know I can bang something, and that's hard, but I'm using an object, which is my hand, to hit another object. So am I that one object, the laptop, or am I the object, the hand? Or am I using words just to describe those things?
Well, for me to imagine what you're saying is an illusion.
Sure it is. Yeah, you're in the, I am a gym. I'm that gym. It's all fun. You know, again, that's how I perceive it. It's fun. Other people, oh, I got to figure it out, Dom. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's how you're pursuing it. I don't mind using my senses too. That's why I say it's fun. I'm just not attached to those things. I might be attached to other things, but I'm not attached to those things. Hence why people say things like, I like to question things. Okay, so what are you questioning? Are you questioning thoughts? Are you questioning the written work? Are you going to question what comes out of somebody's mouth for sounds and frequencies? What are you questioning at that point? At that point, at the word point. Because there's many points.
Hold on. Yeah, there's static in the background. How many hear static, or am I bugging? Hold on. Let me see if I can.
From there, I apologize.
Whoop.
Want me to mute? Yeah.
No, you don't have to mute. Not unmute. I gotta try to fix the sound. I think I know what it is. Oopsie daisy. All right. Oh yeah, I knew it. There we go. Now it's gone. Perfect. I peeked it. Rook it. So, I tried to bring us some pictures, but unfortunately, the pictures won't let me bring it to you. No. I keep running into such good pictures. That's why I disappeared for a minute. I'm like, one more. I'll do one more picture, and then I'll scroll down, and it'll be another one. I'm like, all right, one more. Next thing you know, I'm 80 pictures in. Peace, Scott Severini. Man, I have, all right, I'll show some pictures. Fuck it. It's not like there's a conversation going. What do y'all think about this theory first? I mean, it does kind of look like him. Maybe that's his fucking uncle. You know? I mean, fuck.
Well, they've done work where there's only about 500 certain types of appearance of humans, and then you just put different shades and different genders. So that's not surprising, Charles. But I get it. It's been presented to some people, and like they're going to put 3 little dots on his chin, so therefore, you see the similarities. Okay, I'd rather talk about the fucking car in the background, but hey, let's talk about a human being that looks a certain way. Like, how does it serve to know that we kind of all look alike in some ways?
I don't know.
It's a question. It's an honest question. So this way we can know if we're going to.
Nobody looks like me.
There's probably people that have your image, Charles. Your appearance.
I've been looking for my long lost lookalike for a long time. I was like, maybe my mother had another child somewhere. That bastard.
You're talking about twins at that point. I'm talking about people that, once you see another picture of another person, you take away the shade of their color of their skin or their gender and say, fuck, they look like me. But then again, they look like the body that you're in. Like, think about humans. We try to do.
What if there was a black Chuck? That would be funny. Or a black version of me? Yeah. That would be hilarious. And he sounded more white than me. Imagine that. He's dark, but he sounds like a white dude. And people tell me I sound black. That would be hilarious.
You know, nature shows that there's a lot of similarities with trees that we give names to it. A lot of sequoia trees look very similar. Not completely similar, but very similar. You know, humans
Excuse me, sir.
humans just try to duplicate things. You know, that's why we try to make everything like a factory. Let's make a phone all look the same. Again, in that process of making everything look exactly the same, now you're going to lose chi, harmony out of that. So I get it. This picture that you're showing, Chuck, is one of those. I see. I knew it. I knew it. The elites that was made up in my head because I'm retarded. And people are speculating. It confirms it. It confirms it. This guy here, that's how he is. I'm like, okay, here we go now. Fucking get overexcited now. You figured out there's a fucking rainbow at the end of the there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Again,
now what's
I say, Charles, how does it serve? Because if not, then we're being retarded at that point. We're not progressing.
But isn't
Go ahead, Yahweh.
but isn't slow like retarded a thing? Like
Well, most of us are slow. I get it. Most of us are slow. Not all of us, but I don't want to make a blanket statement. That should be a given when people realize their limitations. The fact that people argue about, let's beat down an old horse, the color of their skin, that means they're slow. Like, that happened when? Is it happening right now? Okay, so why are you online talking about it if it's like actually happening to you right now? They must be slow, late. Use whatever word you want to replace with it at that point.
but isn't that a thing though?
It's always a thing.
What action or
Whether spoken or done and manifested in the action, it's still a thing.
yeah.
You can command somebody to do something, or you can command somebody to not do something. So where's the words at that point? It's a given. You know, it's just that people will look at things and they're already slanted. Well, spelling is bad. No, it's just spelling. How do you think you get conditioned? How would we communicate with each other? And we have variations of language. So one's not better than the next one unless you understand the energy behind it, and one might serve better than the other in that particular moment. You know, if I could speak Sanskrit in certain situations about healing, I would want to speak Sanskrit. If I wanted to learn more about comprehension of something, I would want to speak Greek. English is more of a meaningful language. So at that point, it's a whole bunch of different possibilities by using one word. At that point, it can be confusing for people that actually don't understand how the language really works. And I'm talking about the energy of it, not just the plug and play. You know, most people will lean towards the meaning of the language. Okay, but what's the energy behind it? Well, I don't know that.
Where is the state?
But then the question would be for them, how would it serve you to know there's energy behind the language? Especially when most people are just caught up, I got to go in the dictionary, I got to look up the dictionary or the etymology or whatever fucking term for that. They're better off to say, they might as well just use the word for what it is, not looking at it as a symbol, and then go into the subconscious. Even though the subconscious is there, ever ready, but then again, hopefully there's a gatekeeping going on there. How would it serve if I told you how that works? It probably wouldn't. So we have to entertain people by saying, okay, try to picture the mind and the brain as two different things. We don't literally need to show a picture within oneself. Okay, so the mind is what?
But ain't I making up what you're saying though? Like
it always is. No matter, like I said, Yahweh, I've said it openly before. I'm the fool by talking. Silence is golden. Silver is what? The speech part of it. You can speak it if you're fluent at it. All the power to you. But don't expect other people to really understand it, because the only person that's going to understand it is the one that actually does the talking or having those thoughts.
yeah, I wouldn't want no one to understand me though.
The only person that should understand you, obviously you know it's you. Hence the word understand. But what would be, the question would be for some people, what are they standing under? Hence the mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't want them standing under me. Yeah. Don't understand me.
And then people like to use other words, understanding. Well, okay, you want to Play with the heart now. Okay.
I didn't teach you English. Listen, I made English up myself.
We all make it. Or we bastardize it, and how we use the words. There is a consensus that people will study the dictionary and there will be a meaning to those words. So now if I say the word rock, a lot of people that understand English language would say, okay, is he talking about that thing that we call a rock beside the ocean? Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Okay. But that doesn't mean it's a rock. It's just we call it a rock. It's like I call a cat, but does it know it's a cat? Probably not. So I just use a word. I call that particular thing that's moving a cat, or I'll call that a dog. And then we use subdirectories. I'll call that a fluffy cat, a fluffy white cat. So I'm using more words to describe something that clearly is just an object that moves. A car moves. Mm-hmm. Should I call it a Mercedes? Sure, you can call it a Mercedes. You can call it a Honda. But to the word, now they have to give you symbols. I'll give you the symbol of a Honda. I'll give you a symbol of that. So that means we understand symbols and stuff. Because then we have stories from that. That's why when they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, an object is worth 1,000 subjectives. But none of them exist there. I'm in a room, so I say. It has walls, so I say. But where's the word wall and where's the word room?
That's what I do.
I have to do everything to entertain my senses when I'm in the conscious state. They're not actually.
I think I can agree. Who knows what you're saying?
All right.
I'm the one that should know.
It wasn't letting me upload pictures either. It's still not. Oh, here we go. Finally, I had to exit out everything. All right. Let's show some of these pictures. I don't got many, but I got enough that are interesting for the curious eyeballs. Who remembers Curious George? That sounds gay as fuck. Now that I think about it. Curious George, that little fucking bear.
George say Jorge, though.
He sure was curious, though. Poor George. George of the jungle.
George says Jorge.
Who?
Jorge.
Oh. Jorge? Jorge, are you gay? Oh. Jorge the gay. Imagine your name was Jorge. Hey, Jorge. I'm retarded. Look at this thing. I wonder if that goes underground. That's what it looks like. And look how all this shit fell and it stopped right there. Like, very interesting. And there's one behind it too that looks like it goes underground. It does go underground. Man, you know, I know there's a whole underground. We were talking about this yesterday. I forgot who I was talking about this with, but the city Hades. I forgot what book it talks about the underground cities, man. Like, man, that's one thing they don't want to teach us is about these underground cities. And there is an underground city named Hades. It's in all the old books. And I could only imagine all the other cities there are. But, yeah. They say the U.S. is one of the biggest continents that has the most underground stuff. I can't say it's true because I haven't, like, witnessed it, but I'm pretty damn sure there's underground stuff everywhere. We're just not looking.
George,
hey, I love talking. I love talking to myself.
No, I'm hearing you, Charles. Question for you, Charles. When you use the word gay, how are you using
that? Are you on a microphone or are you on Bluetooth?
Let me put this somewhere. It's probably on rubbing on something. Okay. Is it gone now?
Hold on. Let me see. No, it's like this like static sounds weird.
Maybe I got it on too loud for control.
Hold on. I fixed it last time it stopped. Let me see if I could do it again. There it is.
Is it down?
It's gone.
Okay.
Oh. Say something again.
Can you hear me now, Charles?
It's like when you speak, it comes back. But I don't think it's that big of a deal no more. Let me see now. Oh, it was that. Okay, it was the echo cancellation. All right, you're
Okay
good.
now?
Fuck it.
Okay. So when you use
It's
the
a.
word, when you use the word gay, how are you using it? Happy?
I'm using
Or
it as a disrespect.
okay. So
No, gay. I guess means happy. I almost said bundle of
it can
sticks, but that's a faggot.
that's a fact, which you could use it for many things. The reason I'm asking because Curious George would be more like you, Charles. He likes to. He's a curious cat. He's like a Felix. He's curious about things. You like to post all kinds of pictures and speculate how these things came to be. That's kind of like the fool's card, the fool's journey. You like to explore things. That's kind of.
I forgot about that. He does explore Curious George.
Sure he does. Sure he does. But for the average human that's been conditioned, they have to always be common sense or whatever. They got to follow a structure or whatever. It's usually the one that wants to be the ugly duckling or the black sheep kind of idea. It's almost a compliment to be called Curious George, but that's why I'm asking, what do you mean when you say gay? I get when people use homosexual content, but I'm like, why, guys? Like, stop it. Those shit shouldn't be coming out of your mouth unless you're actually thinking about, being with your same sex. Guys don't realize how much they talk like fucking gangsters, but they're sounding like as though they're gay gangsters. Unless
I
you're
didn't
using the word
realize
gay to be happy.
the word gay isn't gay gangsters. It's fucked up.
I'm just asking, Charles. Because I know I've heard you enough in the last couple of years that you like to explore different things. So in a way, Curious George would be right up your alley.
I ain't exploring that way.
No. Again, it's not about exploring. See, this is the thing. A lot of people are so stuck in their fucking lower chakras.
People kill me when you say something. They'd be like, pause, and I'd be like, damn, bro, you pausing all the time. I'm like, what are you thinking about up there? For real. There's so many gay things running through people's mind where they got to be like, whoa, bro, pause, man, pause. Bro, I wasn't even thinking gay when I said that, or whatever.
That's why I asked, what do you mean when you say the word gay? Happy?
Yeah, that's why I was like, hold on, let me rephrase that.
Gay only mean happy, man.
They always have homosexual thoughts running through their mind.
They should be on Tinder, not on fucking on these streamlines. They should be on Tinder.
Gay only mean happy, man.
Maybe should. I get what you're saying, but
yeah.
Well, homosexual thoughts be running through their mind because a lot of people are always like, pause.
You can see it running through their mind. It's running through yours.
And guess what? Who made the pause thing? A homosexual named Diddy. He started the pause thing.
And I think people started it with themselves when they think they comprehend, but I don't know nothing. I don't know.
I don't know.
Another program now, talking about Diddy. Like, are we parents here? Like, that shit shouldn't even be talked about. That's more, mind-altering shit. They tell you what are going to be talking about Bill Cosby next. Charles,
I call my TV Bill Cosby. Yeah.
That shit is fucking like water cooler conversations. I'm pretty sure if you started presenting a lot of the beautiful maps that you present to water coolers, most people would look at you strange. Why? Because most people that talk about Puff Diddy or whatever, those people are fucking small talk kind of people. They're not interested in, and you used it earlier, retarded. They don't want to progress. They want to be told whatever the fucking media is telling them. Whatever the media is going to tell them, that's the shit I'm going to fucking repeat on my channel.
That's what they telling themselves, though. There ain't nobody there telling them nothing.
No, I'm with you on that, but for a lot of people, that's too big of a step for them, Yahweh. So at this point, we got to put on baby gloves and fucking say, listen, guys, you're still being fucking like spoiled little children pretending to be like adults. Who gives a shit what fucking Donald Trump is doing? And if you do you work for them?
Who gives a fuck? That's
There
right.
you go. There you go. You might as well throw in the waistband. You might as well put delete with
Put
the
it. Put
police.
on your I don't give a fuck boots and let's go.
It could be. What kind of boots are they? They have like little wings on them.
they're Air Mercuries. Or what was the other one? It was Hercules. I mean Hercules. It was Hades. No. What the fuck? Mercury and fucking. It was Mercury. I forgot the other one's name with the wings on the shoes.
Again, more good stories. Again, there are stories.
I thought it was Hades, but that no.
I think they were
It's
Nike Air
Mercury
Jordans.
and
They were Air Jordans. Worn by Michael Jordan.
damn, I'm trying to think of the other version of Mercury. It was I'll think of it. It'll come to me.
I'm thinking of Zeus, but I don't know if that's the opposite of Mercury.
Cupid also has wings on the shoes. So does Mercury. Hold on, now I gotta look it up. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Okay, find it.
Shut up, lady. Hermes. Damn. That's what I don't know why I said Hades. It's probably the E's at the end. Yeah, it's Hermes. Hermes, Mercury, and so on and so forth. There's so many like people don't realize a lot of deities, are the same. They just have a different name and are from a different part because people worship it a little different. But yeah,
They coming to me. They my imagination. I'm making that up.
what do y'all think of these pictures? What's up, JK?
Like no one can prove these guys to me.
Have a good day, Paula.
I turn my throat into all kind of different subjects.
What up, Mission? Mission. Who else came in? Mr. Mission. We are ready for war.
Is that somewhere in the Middle East, Charles?
What?
The picture. Yes.
Oh yeah. It could be India. It's hard to, like I was explaining before, not only do I got to screenshot every picture because it don't let you download, not only that, then after I screenshot, I got to crop it just to make it, right, because there's all that other shit. Then after I crop it, I got to erase the screenshot part because I already cropped it and made it like a picture. And then I got to sometimes, like if I wanted to be on point, I would write down the name, but a lot of it's not even in English, which is odd. But yeah, trying to remember the countries. I know this is in India, but sometimes what?
Who they say Hermes the good of? Oh, I mean, what is Hermes the good of?
Hermeticism. I don't know what this is, but these are interesting. These are a Frenchman's stilts for sheetrocking. Those look like Mega Man's legs.
I'm looking it up. Forgive me.
Huh? I wonder what this was. It looks like it just walked up to that point, right? This is wild too, this wall. It doesn't say what wall this is, but this is up in the mountains, which is crazy. How did they get this material up there? You know? Did they make
Hermes
the
is
material there?
thieves.
Huh?
Hermes is the good of thieves, trade, travelers, sports, and border crossing.
Hmm. Yeah, Hermes is a version of Mercury. Look at this monstrosity of beauty.
Is that also Aries?
What, this?
Oh no. You were saying
I
Mercury?
don't know what temple this is, but it's in India somewhere. Or Afghanistan. You could tell this is old. And they built all the crappy stuff around it. You could tell that this thing has been there. This thing has seen some dusty feet. Huh. A bitty bitty bing bong. I like this for some reason. I don't know why, but this architecture is awesome.
So where do you think some of the architecture would have got some of those ideals to build those kind of buildings?
Well, I guess people, I mean, probably back then everything was done from elder to youth. I guess they would pick people with the most experience, but I also think a lot of the stuff that was found already. That's why they fell upon a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so it's beyond.
That's my
then.
opinion.
Okay, so then
Huh?
something else created it then, or made it.
Or not something else like an alien, just someone else.
Well, it's a good way to speculate because obviously the sun and the moon and the mountains.
I
and the
think
clouds
there's a
all.
couple resets.
So when
I got-
people do, go ahead, Charles.
I was just gonna say, I think they were. It's like, I just think it's odd how, if you look at so-called history, all those years passed, and then all of a sudden, in the last 100 years, we just went warp speed. The fucking, all this technology and all this stuff, but all them thousands of years, no one thought of none of this stuff. I don't know, man, but yeah, I think this could have happened a few times, and they just keep resetting and altering genetics. They could have altered genetics, and then there's going to be a new wave of so-called humans coming in that are way smarter, not less disease prone. That's what they're looking for. But I think this go around, it might be a little different, considering it might not need humans anymore. If you think about it, they got technology, but I don't know. I don't know what this place is, why we're here, or where the fuck we are for the most part. But Chuck's working on it.
So
As long as whoever this is, as long as I got the breath to wake up the next day, I'm gonna keep on working on it. Go ahead, Don. Sorry.
No problem. Because I was going to go with it. Let's keep it at the human level. Let's say humans did make those buildings. Where I was going with it, how did the architect know to build that kind of building or have that kind of thing? Like, think of words like envision. Like today, I can put it in today's language. People that write scripts for movies and TV series, where are they getting that information from?
Yeah, I've heard of that. They meditate and get it.
Hence imagination. This is why they talk about mind altering and all that kind of stuff. So,
what is imagination?
Exactly. I am a jinn kind.
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
I've been wondering that my whole life. Where do these thoughts come from? Like, people say, oh, it's stuff you already thought up in your brain's going, no. Because I could be thinking about one thing, and then just thoughts would come through to my head. Like, what? I'd be like, what made me think of that?
This is where people compose the ideal. Either A, when you see the map, either sailors were communicating with something up in the sky, let's say the moon, that's one way of looking at it, or they're actually downloading informations. So, and some people can actually put it in like a written form or art form. This is why when you hear people say, certain science, certain discoveries, they learned the fundamental, and then they have to actually do some sort of elusive substance to get into a state. So at this point, some of these,
you got to bring your thought to the physical, right?
Yeah, manifest, exactly. So we're seeing it physically being done. Whether we were there or not, we're seeing those buildings. But the question is, the architect, I'm going to lean towards an architect, you can call them mystics, whatever. Who's giving them that information? There's that missing component, because as a human myself, I can't say I can create anything. I can make things, and as much as people want to believe, well, but I created a child. No, you reproduced a child. You didn't create the child. Because if you did, then you would have to say, okay, well, then I'm the one that's actually going to give it the breath of life. No, that's beyond the scope of that. So again,
they
it's
pass
nice.
the torch.
What's that, Charles?
When a woman gets pregnant, I call it passing the torch.
It could be passing the torch, yeah. Some people in certain groups, they value, I'm going to leave this for my future generations. They're talking about themselves at that point. I'm going to come back into that genealogy, into that blood. That's why when people speculate and say, well, he became a trillionaire in one lifespan, this is why they talk about bloodlines. Now, that's going to be tough for a lot of people, because most people don't realize how much they're believers. Well, Dominic, I'm a scientific person. I know you're a believer still. Trust me, you're a believer. You just don't know it yet. If you did know it, then you realize, okay, so then those are possibilities. Then sure it is. But they're the ones that are talking that way. Like we're using numbers, Charles, that this realm could be 1,000 years old. You must add a couple extra zeros on top of it. You must say it's 1,000,000. At that point, how can we prove it one way or the other? Only thing we could do is ponder it and say, I wonder how those things came to be. Like I know that we can build high rises today, but how does it come to be? Like how did language come to be? That's kind of like being in that awe moment. Like I'm being like a child. Usually the ones that are pretending to be adults, they're usually beaten up. I got to prove it because I read all these books. Okay, you read all these books, but how did the book form come to be? Why left pages opposed to right pages? Especially when you start adding in advertising. People that understand, how the hemispheres work. Make sure you put the advertising on a certain page. Put it at the top right-hand corner. That'll catch their attention. They'll read all the other stuff, but they really look at the picture. This is about learning about human behavior. Our personas, our personalities. But even that, you might come to the awareness, those aren't you. You just get to play those parts. Now, the ones that are stuck in the material, let them be. You'll know how they'll talk. They'll start arguing with you about things. I'm just sharing out loud. At that point, that's a troubled little child. And their parents failed them miserably. They just don't know it yet.
Interesting. The fuck? Man, it would be sweet to have a fucking Navy ship and roll up to Antarctica.
It could be like a Chevy Chase experience. There it is. There's Antarctica. We're going back now. Let's go.
I found the firmament. I don't. You know what I think? Like, this is my personal thought. The military is at I forgot what meridian, the 60th parallel. Anyway, let's say the military does guard the 60th parallel, and they got buoys or whatever you want to call them, buoys that detect people who pass a certain area. My question would be, are they guarding it to keep us safe, or are they guarding it to keep us from leaving? And why would they do that? It makes me wonder what tests they're running. Because if they're keeping us in, I look at it as they don't want something to spread out there or something. That's how I'm looking at it. Because if people were to leave, I don't think they would really care too much. It's either they don't want us to find something, or we're probably filled with nanotech and who knows what else.
So what about, Charles, that thing that you just said, it gets fulfilled. You go in some sort of ship, they bring you to Antarctica, and let's pose both sides. A, there's really nothing else there but more ice. So that would, for a person that's become very fundamentalist, no, that can't be it, and they'll just keep doing it. Or they show you something and like, okay, this is where all our major manufacturers are.
Well, they say it's all ice, but I don't know if I believe it.
But again, like I said, if you're going to use your imagination, let's use your imagination. So you go there, you have one scenario. Now, would you be satisfied? Probably not. And then the other part, we're going to show you something. We're going to show you something. All our human technology is coming from over here. Now, the funny part is, Charles, good luck explaining that to anybody else. And that's just two possibilities. What happened if it's another possibility?
But that's not. I've said this before. I used to do this because I want to wake people up and stuff, or so-called whatever, wake people up, share information. But now.
But how can you, Charles? A question I have to ask you. I would have told you at the very beginning. I
don't care about explaining anything to anyone for the most part. I'm doing this for me, my curiosity, and my research.
But you said you were trying to wake people
I don't
up.
plan on sharing it. If I was to travel and I found what I thought was there, I wouldn't come back.
Okay,
there wouldn't be nothing to explain. I'd be out.
I'm hearing you, Charles, but you did say you were trying to wake people up. Why?
I used to want to.
Okay, but
then I realized it's not up to me to interfere.
Okay. So let's look back, okay? You were trying to wake people up. Did you know for sure back then when you were trying to wake people up that this stuff was true or not? Because what I'm going to say to you next is actually, because what I'm going to say next is what you were doing. It was the blind leading the blind at that point. Unless you know for sure, Charles, that you've gone on a ship, you've gone to Antarctica, and you saw what you saw, and everybody else around you said, listen, we don't talk to anybody else to the masses.
No, last time I went to Antarctica, I bumped into, what's his name? Heronism.
You're going to make a joke out of this. Which is fine, Charles. But like I said,
nah, it'll just end up like Jeranism's trip. I know what you're saying.
Like for me, Charles, I share out loud. That's all I do. I'm not here to fucking prove heaven and hell exist, whether or not the aliens don't exist. I will pose both sides and I'll talk out loud. But I'm not here.
Like you would say, how does it benefit me?
Well, how does it serve?
That's what it's basically about. It's like benefiting me, like
sure.
However someone else looks at it or how they feel, that's on them.
But yet, if it was just about you, then my question would be, then why would you be using somebody else's ship to go there?
Because I don't have one.
You then? At that point, you're a nomad. So listen, I'm going to take my chance. I might skin a couple of seals, get some fur. I'm going to walk over the ice. Most people don't even have the fucking capability to challenge those things. They can entertain it in their heads, but they can't challenge those things. And I would even be suspicious that they're going to give you a goose trail. Oh yeah, a guy from
of course they are.
You know, some military guy. He went there and he found out there's other planes. It could be. I will entertain the idea there could be. No different. Somebody says, Dom, I saw a UFO. Okay.
Of course, they're going to give me the runaround. They're going to take me where they take everyone else. It's not like I could get out and go explore on my own.
But if you could, Charles, what would restrict you from traveling on your own? Your comforts? Where would you get your food? Are you going to learn to spear an animal? Charles,
yeah.
I'm talking about, remember, I'm very grounded. I don't mind entertaining these ideals. I find them fucking humorous to no end. And I'll entertain them, but I can't confirm one way or the other. That's the catch. I can't prove whether we did or didn't go to the moon. The people that say we didn't go to the moon and they have no proof is fucking humorous. And the ones that say we did, and I said, did you go to the moon? No. So you're humorous too. That's not to denounce the fact that those things still could be possible. But from my eyes, I can't say that. I can't confirm that. And just because somebody said, oh, I heard somebody else, well, that's nice. Did you read it in a book too? Yeah. Well, there you go. That's even nice.
I went to the moon.
There you go.
I did.
Alice.
In my dreams.
There you go. But how would you explain that to the rest of us then? Outside of just using the language that everybody else
I wouldn't.
I'd use the analogy of If me and you met an alien, how would we explain it to everybody else?
I wouldn't.
The best thing we could get is
Because they wouldn't believe me.
Well, but even if they did believe you, you would have another believer. That's the catch. They can trust me, but the story that comes out of my mouth, the only thing they can do is believe because they weren't there. So when they talk about the elites, are you one? Well, no. Are you every cop that have ever put on a uniform? No. So what you're saying is, from my own personal experience, this is what I experienced. But most of us experience way more in our imagination than we do fucking in the physical world. I went to Italy. Okay, so where's Italy again? That's a word. Where is that again? Because I could drop anybody. I can't personally, but if I could drop anybody in any part of the world, I say, okay, where do you think you're at? They'd be desperately looking for landmarks, so they can verify, so they can say the word, I'm in France. Really? Are you sure? Sure I didn't bring you to a miniature version of France? Like I said, Charles, I don't mind entertaining these things. And I'm giving guys, a lot of people, a lot of benefit of that. That's what they're doing. But if they're actually trying to prove this shit, fuck, they're humorous to no end. We could talk about chakras. What are you going to show me? A picture of chakras? Yeah, okay, this is the red chakra. This is the blue chakra. Okay, so we're going to do fucking follow me, almost fucking follow the colors.
We're going to play follow the ignorance.
Which is fine. I don't mind as long as most of us are going to be consciously ignorant. Let's have fun. But it's the ones that are serious. I'm like, fuck, you serious and silly people are fucking pretty humorous. Why? Because we're just entertaining ideals. Fuck, we're just as bad as, I can't say it's bad.
That's what we were trained to do.
Sure we are. We're just as funny as Christians. Yeah, I believe in a guy named Jesus.
We were trained to entertain ideals and what they call edumacation.
Education. I love the word. You know.
I hated school. I knew at a young age it was full of crap. Now you could use it as a tool to maneuver, you know, if you got the money, just throw away. You know, a lot of these rich families, you can get a bunch of like certificates. You can utilize, that's the word I'm looking for, some of these programs. Like I utilized a program. It was an $800 price to take the test through the state for asbestos and lead abatement removal. The state had this program called a Youth Build. I went in there, I got my diploma through it, and I got carpentry certified, and I got my license through the state. So there's things out there you can find. I mean, probably less programs than it was back in 2003. I was way back then, but I'm pretty sure there's some programs somewhere, and college, you could utilize it in ways too. But me, I personally say fuck college. That's just me. Don't listen to me. You do what you want to do. But college could shove it. I'm not paying no fucking $100,000 for a fucking piece of paper. And then when you get the piece of paper, you ain't guaranteed no jobs in that. You know how many people I've known that went to college, graduated, and did nothing with that. They ended up working somewhere else that had nothing to do with their degree.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they're in the hole.
College is no different if you want to become a singer. You know how many singers fall by the wayside? Thousands.
Yeah.
Same if you wanted to be an athlete. How many guys that pick up a baseball bat or pick up a basketball, and then you have a chance? Or
it's all on you, man. You know, how passionate are you about your craft? That's all.
Passion plays a major role. I won't deny that, Charles. Passion plays a major role.
Yeah.
You have to factor in who you know plays a major role in the right
that
place
too.
at the right moment. All of them. It's not fair. And I know you're not doing this, but it's not fair when people bash an industry because it didn't work for them. It's a system that maybe out of the millions, 1,000 people become successful. It's kind of like when you plant seeds. Fucking the sperm works the same way when you look at it. Not every sperm gets the luxury of getting into an egg. So at that point, it's kind of like the stronger survive. Doesn't necessarily they're always stronger, but they might have the right connections. So if you have the right connections, Charles, and you choose to rap, okay, we're looking for a rapper that happens to be light skinned.
That's what I was saying.
Area. And that's it. And it's because you're in the right place, and that's what they're trying to push. That doesn't make it right or wrong. It just
No.
makes it what it is.
Now, you don't need to really. I could tell people, like, unless you want a record deal just to be cool and say I got a record deal, go for it. But you don't need to rap to an A&R no more. You can fucking make digital albums and sell them. You only need, if you're really smart with math, shit. What if you had 200 faithful fans, right? That would buy your albums every time you put them out. That's all you need. $20 an album or $10 an album. Digital CDs, tapes are even coming back if you want to invest in your craft. But someone explained to me a long time ago, it was like, Chuck, if you know, this is when CDs back in the days, we would burn copies or make music when CDs were popular, and fucking my friend was like, all you need is, like, even if you had 100 faithful customers, you'd do good. Now you can put merch out, and if you're really good at thinking of stuff to put on merch, it'll sell.
So Charles, here's one. Let's say you come from a billionaire family, and your dad wants to help you with your singing career. So you produce a CD, and your dad decides to get one of his corporations to buy 1 million of them, and then actually have a concert, buys all your concert tickets, and then gives it out to the public for free. Next thing you know, based on numbers and financial, you've become successful. Again, it's a numbers game, Charles. As much as people might say, okay, well, Dom, there's a certain, I'll use rapping as one example, a certain rapper that has actually natural fucking skills. But the rest of them, they could all be staged. Meaning that there's somebody that's actually changing all the lyrics and all that. No,
well, that's how it is now.
Yeah, you could have one half-decent politician.
Most of these rappers, there's rappers in the industry that never wrote anything in their life, and they're getting top hits because they sound better. You know, it's about how they sound, but they don't know how to write music.
Okay, but
look, I don't. I've been writing forever. I didn't even know what 16 bars was. I would just write. No one sat me down and schooled me.
Okay, so you're learning the craft. That'd be no different if you're a model wanting to learn about doing all these Photoshops. Next thing you know, you go right places. Athletes do the same thing. So in the end, Charles, in the end, okay, if there's such thing as an end, it comes down to if there's an agenda and they're trying to condition the masses, this is the direction we want. We want to rap about cop killing. That's where it's going to go. Now, the ones that are saying, listen, Dom, but I'm a true rapper. No, you're not a true rapper. The true rappers are the ones that are fucking selling all kinds of money. Because if you're going to start talking about, well, I used to be a pure artist and I used to, do photographs, in the fucking cave. The technology now is about AI. It's giving a lot of people an opportunity to at least explore being in the musical industry. The people that sell that stuff, that's where they make their money. The guy that wants to make a living off of fucking being a rapper, you better take your fucking chances of doing a lot of rodeos. It's like a country singer or a rock and roll singer. And some of them make it a full-time career, even though they never make it.
There's ways to make money, like you're saying, Dom. Like, if you say you do get a small show, right? See Toad's Place, something little. If a person was smart, you'd have someone out front with your CDs and some little bit of gear to sell, so you could get paid from the show and make some tax-free money. Fuck taxes. Yeah, you heard it first.
You got to pay money, Charles. At that point, the guy that's going to make it a career, it could be a starving career.
Yeah, everything's an investment.
But unfortunately for a lot of folks, they go onto YouTube, they go into the music industry, or in this case, they can use these devices. What they're doing is they're trying to chase the lifestyle. They're not trying to chase the life career that they would have to devote themselves. Most of the people that are using AI to do rap are fucking fly-by-nights. Not to say that they're not good at their craft, but they're going to be in the wash within months and years. They might complain about some technology that's more advanced. I said, but that's the same technology you're using. So at this point, I get it. There's people that I met, they don't sing, but they actually write lyrics. They do like
Good
little
for them.
jingles. They do jingles. Or
No,
whatever.
I don't mean it like that, but
But it's
there's
part-time. Right?
yeah, then you got to find someone to buy the lyrics and all that. Everything's a gamble, man. But what I'm saying is, if you truly love what you do it.
Yeah, doesn't mean you're gonna make a
I've
living
worked
for
so
that.
many jobs in my life that I hated, and the only reason I kept with it because there was nothing else open, and I knew I had to pay Mr. Bills at my fucking door every month.
Yeah, some people are chasing their tails. Some people use the word slow money's better than no money. But for a lot of people, they've been
No.
conditioned with the media and the TV that every gangster is driving all kinds of cars. No, not every gangster is not driving every car. And even that, for how long?
They're driving a rented car.
They could be. They could be. But
It's a
it's no
loaner.
different. They
That
think
car place.
Yeah.
I just want to say the car place will lend them the car because of who they are and how many
Maybe.
people they know,
Yeah.
and they'll make money for them sometimes.
We follow sports. For every athlete that you hear sign a half decent contract, you know how many athletes never fucking had that opportunity?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen this one time. It was a video on YouTube about minor league, so I watched it, and man, some of these minor leaguers never get a chance to see the big leagues. You know, they've been waiting year after year, and then if you get hurt, your career. The guy was saying, if you get hurt in the minors, your career is pretty much over.
But your career is like a model. It's short. So in this case, if you're not making it in the major league, I'll use baseball, or you make it into the minor league, or you go to maybe Japan, you go play in the Japan league. Basketball's different. If you're not playing in the D league or playing in maybe up overseas,
league.
Football's the same.
When did that
deal.
start, Dom? The
What's that?
D League. Remember that? Basketball used to never have no minor leagues.
No, they did. They did. No, they did. It's
When?
that
Even in the 80s?
but Charles, it became more popular. A lot of the leagues that they were forming overseas, the Italian.
I don't remember that in
Spanish
the
league.
90s and 80s.
No, they did.
But
What they did is now they brought some of them home, so they made a D league. Even though a lot of them still go overseas.
a diddler
and some-
league.
Yeah, and so, no, they're actually. You'd be surprised. Players.
I know, I'm just joking.
You make if you're well known in Japan, you're going to make a shitload of money. The reason why they brought in the guy from Dodgers and a bunch of Japanese here is because they're kind of merging those two leagues together. It's like basketball now. It's no longer just about the college athletes in the States. They're talking about international players. They're merging leagues now. They had them separate, now they're merging them. So you're going to have a lot of players that play in the Greek basketball league or the Italian basketball league. Hockey's no different. You know, music industry is no different. They're not fucking Bollywood fucking presents itself in America. You know, there's musical industries in Japan and China and in India that would fucking warp the fucking American market. You know, the world's not all about rap, guys. It's not all about rock and roll. It's all variations of music. We're a melting pot. And whether or not people want to think that globalization is a good thing or a bad thing, it's here. It's here already. And the people that are already thinking, still too busy worrying about being a nationalist, you're on the wrong bus. But hey, enjoy it. Because eventually we're going to merge. Whether or not I agree or disagree with the system.
They're gonna merge and we're gonna purge, motherfuckers.
They can only hope that we can purge. I say that jokingly, by the way. Like, I know I joke about the meat suit and all that, but it's inevitable. I've come to an awareness. I'm 61 years old.
No, you're right.
You know?
I know people don't agree with the meat suit thing, but
It's just a word.
it is
It's
just a
word.
vehicle.
It's just a word.
It's a vehicle so you can have the experience in the physical. That's how I've always seen it. But people could laugh and say this or that. That's their opinion.
I remember I had a buddy of mine, Gary. We'd sit for like hours, 10, 11 hours, talking about all kinds of shit. He introduced me to the flat earth, the fucking moon, and all that. He had 2 university degrees. And he used to always say the word meat suit. I'm like, fuck, Gary, that offends me, Dom. You're being offended by a word.
Look, there's your serpent right there. The whole hip, the hip, the spine, up to your skull, all that. I think that all vibrates. Like, I think bones vibrate somehow. Or maybe it's not the bones, it's the energy running through the bones. Maybe the muscles act as a highway for I don't know, but I'm very interested in the alchemy of the body. You know,
You ever watch any of those Asian Oriental
kung fu movies?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So they're talking about energy. What people are trying to be glued in on is
Yeah,
they show
chi
you
energy.
Yeah, they show the skeleton of a human being and say that's where the snake is or whatever. No, the snake isn't an energy. It's an energy form. It's like air bending.
I know that.
You know. So what we're doing is we're so desperately trying to.
I said it in my rhyme.
In your rhyme, Charles?
I said it in the beginning of my rhyme.
Yeah. So.
But
we so desperately want to entertain the senses, which is great. We can entertain the senses. But where is the energy behind those things? Now,
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, but some people say, I don't believe in that, Dom. I said, okay, so where's there again? Where do thoughts reside? Well, I don't know. I said, there you go. You don't know. So the fact that you don't know, you can't even debate the fucking topic at that point. At that point, once you start believing, now you can work your way up to knowing. And then once you know, you can have a discernment. Not to say I'm ever going to be able to explain it to another person. I'm just using words. And using words is just like using pictures. If it resonates with you, it resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you, change the channel. Nobody's holding anybody accountable here. The ones that are, they're full of shit. Their parents failed them in some way. And there's a good chance if we're going to look within the mirror within the parents, there's a good chance their parents failed them in some way. They might have succeeded in other ways, but they might have failed them in other ways. By allowing them to develop.
Sometimes failure is good, you know? So, like for me, falling on my face, for lack of better words, I'll say falling on my face and getting back up was the best thing that happened to me sometimes.
Sure, trial and error. For some people, they have to do trial and error. Dom, I didn't learn the first time I put my hands on the stove. Okay, this ought to be fun. So how are you going to do it the second time? Well, with my other hand.
Dive on it.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I only touched it the first time. This time I'm going to dive on it. Yeah.
You know, I might ask questions. You know, are you sure you want to do that, right? Because I'm not going to tell him it's wrong. Who am I to tell him that it's wrong? Guy wants to put his hands on the stove. I could maybe make some suggestions. Maybe you should put on a glove. Maybe is there something you want to do? You want to jump off a cliff without?
You know, you would laugh. You would try to get him to jump on it. You'd be like, "Go ahead."
I wouldn't. Unless I'm looking him right in the face and I'm saying it. He said, Dom, you know you're joking, right? I said, I thought you were joking. What do you mean? I said, you mean to tell me intuitively you don't know putting your hands on the stove is going to be harmful? Unless there's something you're not telling me, Dom. I put a certain wax on my hand. I'm into stunt modes. What do you mean? I could put my hands on the stove, but I don't get burnt. Charles got booted again, Yahweh.
Time is it? 2. All right. I'll jump off here in like 15 minutes.
No problem, Charles.
Damn. Time flies.
It's flying.
Wow. Peace to the chat. Peace, Tammy. Peace, Bex. What's up, Lonnie? Lonnie? The fuck? My name's Lon. Damn. I can't say it. You're half right, Chuck. It's actually each vertebrae is a specific power source. The vertebrae reverberates like a vibrator. The vibrator's reverberating. You got to hit the chi spot. I mean, my bad. You got to use it on the magic bean. The fuck are you talking about? You got to speak in code.
I guess, Charles, I know I've said it, you know, I just say it in passing when I say, you know, how does it serve? I never really pointed towards anything in particular, so it's a very vague statement I say. But it can serve. How does it serve oneself? How does it serve to hear that information? You know, sometimes it could serve that you note it and then you share it with somebody else. You know, servitude is important as a species. We should try to at least try to be of servitude to each other. Shouldn't always be about giving or receiving. It's a bit of both. Doesn't necessarily mean it's tick for tack. Just because somebody gives you something doesn't mean you have to give back something to him, but maybe give it to somebody else if need be. You know, but what I get is a lot of times in these small little groups, it's a lot of more taking. You know, what can they take away from this? Okay, but what are you giving? You know, I enjoy posting things of other people's work because it's not my work. The only thing I have to do is hear it. And then I share with other people. If it brings them value, all the power to them. But I really rarely see, you know, there's people in chat, I know quite a couple of them, they do offer a lot. But I do also sense they also get abused by certain characters. And that's why, if it was my channel, Charles, that shit would not fucking tolerate. First time somebody offends anybody, you're done. You'll never fucking be on this channel again.
Yeah, I'm about to cut that out. I know certain people are trolling and stuff, but it gets annoying after a while. And yeah, it ain't fair to, you know, other people.
Well, Charles, if it was my channel and somebody says something to you, I wouldn't wait till they offend me. I said, no, you're done. You say something to another person on a panel, you're done. That person has their own fucking channel. Stay there. You're a clever little boy. Fuck off. Now, I'm saying this out loud. I'm not going to give any names. They'll know who they are because they're the ones that do all the fucking noise disturbing. But I've heard in a couple of channels recently, Charles, again, this is your channel. Do whatever the fuck you want. But when other people start, you know, calling each other, calling them, you know, whatever, I'm not even going to say the words out of my mouth. I'm like, okay, like it's not my channel. Because eventually it produces shit. And that includes anybody, Charles. If I start doing that shit, fuck it, that should work on me too. You know who they are. They come on here. They got to be the big man on campus. They got to fucking have all that airspace, blah, 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 blah. And then they giggle and they say shit. You know, I'm just trolling. No, you're done. You're wasted fucking cell. You should have been swallowed.
Damn.
That's me being cruel, and I'm being that moron, and I can call myself out on that shit. Now, but those are the type of people that get all offended because they like it a one-way street. I'm the big man on campus. I take advantage of other people, and then they want to sleep with other people's wives. Sleep with that. What a clever little boy. You know who I'm talking about. We don't have to mention names. Anyway, I'm being the moron right now.
Well, I don't know about that. But
I know myself well enough, Charles. Those are the kind of guys. The only way you're going to shut me up, you're going to have to beat the shit out of me. And after even that, I got to question myself. How much do I really care about my wife if I allow myself to get hurt? I get it. There's trolls. There's channels that love trolls. It'd be different if you were financially gaining from this, Charles, but you're not. That's the sad part about it. It'd be different if all of a sudden we're going to kick somebody off the channel and Charles is going to get paid $20. You're not even interested.
Right. Picture someone donating to me.
There you go.
That'll be the day. No, that ain't true.
As the weather gets better, Charles, I will look, because I tucked away all my cards. So eventually I'm going to have to look at them, and then I'll tell you what I have, and if you want some, give me your address again, and I'll send some to you. Because I know you have more.
Yeah, I treasure that Griffey. I put that on my PC collection.
At least I could do it for you, boss. I sent you other stuff, but you don't have to share what I sent with you.
Oh, that's in my, well, I pretty much, that's all I have now. I shrunk my collection down. I got rid of a lot of like cards that were just pointless because I'm such a hoarder.
Yeah, we all become in a certain way. Whether it's
I had like 4 big boxes down of just like just all different years and pretty much just common cards that were no names, put it that way. I don't even like to call them no names because shit, they made it to the majors. That's more than what most could do.
I collected for the sake of collecting. Like I have like about at least 1,000 collector Upper Deck sheets. You know, they're worth a lot of money,
Wow.
but it's one of those things where unless you find a buyer, which I'm not interested. You know, I used to collect statues. You know, so
That'd be dope to have a Griffey on there, like, you know,
they do.
on the Upper Deck.
I'll have to take a picture and send you. It's a 1989. What they did was they took some pictures. They were showing the upcoming baseball segment because that baseball was the first one, right? And they did the Griffey picture on there, and I think the two error cards.
What?
There was I think Joyner and
When I hit the lotto, I'm gonna give you an offer.
I thank you, Charles. I thank you, Charles. But like I said, I used to like collecting Upper Deck. I used to like it basically because the holograms. I used to love collecting holograms.
That was a bonus with Upper Deck is the holograms, and I like that hologram set you put in there too. I was looking at it.
I got some more. I'll send them to you, Charles.
I think Griffey was in this set too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was. It was Boston Red Sox, the third baseman. He was in there too. What's his name?
Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs was there.
Yeah, third baseman. Yeah, Boggs, 89. I would put that in a big frame. Excuse me, the sheet with Griffey. Man, Griffey and Manny were definitely my two favorite growing up. I started off with Mo Vaughn because he was from Connecticut, one, and he played first base. But then he ended up getting traded. I think it was to the Mets. No, yeah, he went from Boston to the Mets and then other teams. But and then Manny, they shit on Manny, man. You know, I remember the year. They shit on him and sent him to LA. He was mad, disappointed. You know, the Reds, you know, I know Manny did certain things, but he definitely was a money maker for them because, man, he was a money maker for Boston. And he helped bring them titles too. And yet they pooped on him to get into this was last year. To get into the Hall of Fame. Now he can't get in. He can't get in unless, you know, he'll probably get in when he dies. He'll be lucky to get in. Look at Pete Rose. He died and he wasn't in, right? He still ain't in, I don't think.
Well, they made an example of him because he got caught for gambling on the sport that he was in.
Now gambling's legal. Go figure, huh?
That's kind of like, you know, before it was illegal to sell or grow marijuana, now it's legal. You know, so again,
right.
Rules they can make. But like I said, Charles, collecting comes in any form. I know you love the Sox and you like to collect sports cards. Where other people,
I like collecting all sorts of things too. Like I got a Pez dispenser from X-Men.
My cousin has hundreds of Pez dispensers.
Yeah.
She used to go.
Stone was throwing this out, a neighbor, when they were booting people out. There was a dresser with a bunch of junk, and I was going through it. And that was in there, whole in the package. I said, collecting, right into my collection.
Some of them are worth a lot of money. Like they're like Mad magazines, you know. It's like you got to buy.
Wow, Mad magazines.
But don't take them out of the box or don't take them out of the wrapper. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you don't do that.
So
no.
We're like our parents. You have furniture and you put plastic over it.
Yeah.
You know.
Shit, dude, I've seen collectors that got Hot Wheels still in the packaging from the 80s and 70s, and they're worth bank like that. And I used to think to myself, how did these people know that it was gonna be worth money? But or people that bought. I seen a guy, he had, I think it was 86. That was the year Jordan became, I think that was Jordan's rookie years, 86.
For Flair, yeah.
Flair, 86 Flair. That set, I mean, there's people who are buying boxes and them cards from that year and saved them. And like 2 years ago, I seen them selling for thousands. And it's not even guaranteed Jordan's in there. It's just because of the guarantee.
See, but this, Charles, this is where we as in certain countries, we become displaced because we put value on things that most people would turn around in other parts of the world and say, so you're spending money on luxury things and speculating,
Right.
because that's what we're doing. We're speculating. When we buy coins or paintings, you're speculating. If you're a
It's
true
worth
collector,
money.
yeah, if you're a true collector, they don't care about the price. They might brag about it, but the ones that are
Right.
speculating are going to say, "Listen, I'm going to buy this painting, hoping that somebody else is going to want to spend more for it."
What do you
Or
what do you think's a true collector, Dom? Someone that collects, like to me, it's worth more for me to keep it than sell it. It means more to keep it to me as a collector's item, than it does for me to keep it for money. Like I rather keep my stuff for my personal collection and sell it. And then when it's time for me to exit here, I'll find another young man that likes to collect. And if I see he's serious, like I gave a Kobe Bryant rookie card to my friend's son because he loved Kobe. And my friends are like, "You're dumb, sell that shit." And I was like, "No, I was trying to show him whether he sold it or kept, that's on him, but I was trying to, show him, because he collected cards at a young age to save things, but well, I don't know what happened."
well, to answer your question, like to be a true collector, it's probably a lot of variables. So, are you a collector because you love the sport? Uh, you're just using the card as a reflection. Again, it's like when people collect stocks. Are you buying it as an investment, a long-term investment, where maybe down the road I can sell it for a profit, or I'm just gonna so it's stable? It's like when people buy gold or silver. Like
Probably
are you?
both.
It can be. It could
Like,
be many things. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, if I had to say my Derek Jeter card, which I had tons of his rookies and they weren't worth shit, It was always the cards that I didn't have that were worth money, and the ones that are pretty hard to get. And because another reason is because in the 80s and 90s, most people don't know they were overproduced and cut like shit too. So it's very hard to get a 10, like for it to be cut perfect. That was difficult. And
But like Charles,
but
I said,
I collect for me because I love collecting and I love the sport. And I also, if money comes along with it, I'm also cool with that too. Like maybe I could be broke one day and somehow the baseball card gods will be good to me and somebody will want to buy something that's worth a little something. The only one I probably wouldn't part ways with is the Griffey and a couple other cards I got that have sentimental value. Like, I'm going to always cherish that Griffey because the story that comes behind it.
oh, that's the thing.
I
People
needed that to
stories.
complete my collection. Huh?
So people collect ticket stubs, for example. It might not have no value
I had some of those too
financially,
from Fenway.
but as you're talking about, there's a story behind it. So now,
Yeah.
most people, and that's what fuels the industries. They're not collectors. They're investors. They're speculators. So
Yeah.
it's like stock market. You can have lots of stock, but if you don't know how the market works, regardless of how much it's valued, if
It's
there's not
worthless.
nobody willing to buy it, then it's useless at that point. So it's the
Right.
same with cards. I could have all the cards in the world. If I'm not going to put the effort in looking for those specialty where a guy says, "Listen, Dom, I got $1 million, or I got to deduct something, and I want to buy cards, or I want to buy a piece of land, or I want to buy some I don't know, IBM stock, whatever." Those are long-term investors. Are they collectors? From the outside, they might look like collectors, but there's very few people that are true collectors. Those are the ones you hear. I have all these shoes. I collect all of these, whatever. Like, do you care about the price? Not really. I have all these cars. I know they're worth a lot of money, but I don't really care. I have all this land. I really don't care valuing it. It's important to me that I use it, and it's some sort of symbol for them. But for most people, collecting any kind of thing, I don't care if it's coins, it could be collecting fucking dolls, whatever. It's thinking that down the road I could sell it. Well, when is down the road? Like people can have all kinds of gold and silver. When are you going to
Down
sell it?
the road.
And for what? Like to me right now, gold is, unless you can really quickly sell gold for that deflated money and then replace it with something else of value, that piece of paper is useless.
Look at this, Dom. You read this that Mark put? That's a cool card. That's another thing. Era cards.
That's an error card. Yeah, it's an error card.
Wait till I find this era card I have, man. It's a Jesse. I think it's a Jesse Barfield era. I believe that's his name. No, I don't. But it's a 1980. It was the Topps cards that would have the big team name over the top, man. I remember the 83, 80. I can't believe I remember it. It came in wax packs. My mother used to take me to this store. It was called Your Store. And I'd be like, yo, let's go to your store. My friend would be like, I don't have a store. Right? We would play the stupid joke because it was called Your Store. They'd be like, where you going? Your store? And anyway.
Again,
But I could remember my mom buying me those packs and opening them. And I didn't know the value or the investment of cards when I was younger. So I would keep them in a cigar box like a dummy. And man, did they get dented up. But that's the year I got it. I want to call it it got mixed up with the cards by an accident, I bet you, because these cards aren't supposed to be sold. It's more or less like in the back, it's not even numbered. It says A where the number is, and it's a thick card. It looks like a sample to show people before they print them.
Mhm.
And somehow it got in packs, and I got one because it's not even listed in the fucking. I'll show it to you when I find it. I hope I still got it. I think I do.
Those error cards, especially when they were overproducing, are great during that time. But then they become yesterday's fashion, where to list them now, Becca, most people would say, unless people start throwing them away and there's only a couple of them, those error cards, it's kind of like having a defect or whatever. And, people were putting value on the price. Again, those are investors again, and those investors are very fickle. So like a card like, what's his name? Ken Griffey. Has he been put in the Hall of Fame yet? Junior? Is he in the Hall of Fame yet?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so he's a value based on that. But then again,
Him and his father, I think.
Yeah. So him and a bunch of other people. The fact that 89 was the
Let me
very
make
first
sure.
year. Yeah, 89 was the very first year Upper Deck came out with cards. That's what makes it valuable.
Ooh, nice. And I got that whole set. 89 Upper Deck set.
Now they were supposed to come out with basketball, but they actually came out with hockey. But they had promo cards. And they had a promo card of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. They were both number 32 and 33. They were only given to Upper Deck executives. And then when they didn't come out with the set, they were just dispersed among them. Those cards were worth like about $4,000 or $5,000 each, because nobody has them. And the ones that do have them, they were the executives. So again, the Beckett. You know how the Beckett works, Charles. A lot of that's just collusion together. If they tell you this card's worth this much, it's worth this much. And then they started getting into all the patches. I never got into that, but where you can get a card and you can have like the uniform, a picture, a little piece of the uniform or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's not what I'm interested in. But again, for most people, in any kind of form of collection, it becomes more an investment for people. How much can I make from it? And those are the people would only buy your set if they know they can flip it for a profit.
Damn. My bad. I had a phone call at the hospital. So I had no choice. Anyway. Dude. Let's fucking go to war. I would love to go to war. Let's see, where the fuck is that picture? Yeah, that would be cool. Dude, man. Fucking A, dude. Watch this. Puma, what are you doing on there? Man, that's my cat Puma when we got her. She was just a little baby. And then this is my other cat, but it don't show her head. The picture didn't fit. My cat that passed away. Yeah, I'll leave this up. This is cool. It's fucking cool, dude. Or this one. This cat's holding hands with men, yo. What the fuck? There's gay shit everywhere. Well, let's see. What do I got for music? Matter of fact, I'm going to lay my verse down today, right after I get off of here. Then I got to send it to Hurricane. What's up, oh my God. I almost called you Copper Brownie because I seen the copper. Copper heels. I need a fucking copper helmet. Hopefully the pennies are before 1980. I think that's the year. That's when they were copper, because now they're made with zinc, or zinc and crappy metals. Take an old penny and weigh it compared to a 2024 penny. If you get a 2024 penny, you could hold it in your hand and see the different weight. You could feel it. Save your pennies, not be making them anymore. Yeah. Fuck that. Before the war, which war? I got a penny from 1909, a wheat penny. Yup. It's the oldest one I was able to find, 1909. And I thought it said 1919 or something. I was wrong. I couldn't really see. I don't know. The hospital calls me every day, man. I'd be scared to pick it up. They were blowing my phone up at 2 in the morning. Always, you know what's crazy? My roommate was supposed to come home. Then I get a call about 3 a.m. around a witch's hour where they do their rituals. And I thought to myself, what's the fucking chances of the same shit happening last night around 3 a.m.? It was like, you know, a little after 3, the same shit. And I'm thinking, yo, what are they doing in these hospitals at the witching hour? What's the fucking chances of that back to back? And I thought to myself, I don't really believe in coincidences. I said, what nurse is working? That was my first thought. What nurse is working during that shift hours? And the crazy part is my roommate escaped from the hospital twice. And I think, like, man, hospitals are terrible. Yeah, I got some cool coins. I should have mummified my family members. Imagine you got mummified family members in your house. How you doing today, Rick? They got that in Africa, in the village I was watching. Dude's great-great-grandfather was fucking mummified. And they just hang him up in the hut. I shit you not. They hang the great-great-grandpa up on a thing. And he's literally mummified in a crouching position. And they just hang him up by his fucking arms. The way that they... Anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't mummify my family. I was just joking. Well, I guess I'm gonna jump off here, guys. Now there's 14 people here. I don't know. I think I'm gonna jump off here and work on some music. some of that devil music. No, seriously. Oh wow, Jason, what curve was here? I didn't even notice that. What's up, Jason? What y'all know about the doing tones and shit? There's a guy on YouTube, he sits in the shower, right, and runs water. I was doom scrolling, and I caught this channel like 3 times. One time I was doom scrolling. I mean, people were trolling this guy so hard. But he was sitting in his bathroom in a chair with a copper pyramid hat. He made a copper pyramid. I think it was 3-dimensional. And he had put it over his head. And where your soft spot was where the tip of the pyramid was. He had his head arched down. And then he was holding these rods in his hand. I don't know if they were copper or what they were made out of because they were covered. But they're these rods he was holding. I'm not making fun of him. Who's to say that shit don't harness more power? I don't know. But he seems to meditate like that. You know, people were like laughing and doing all this shit in the chat. And I'm like, ignorance is bliss, man. If people don't understand something, they'll either A, laugh at you, call you stupid. And the white man, if the white man don't know something, the white man will shoot it. You know, imagine when a so-called black person first seen a white person compared to when a white person first seen a black person. I bet you they shot him. I'm joking. The RZA said that in one of his rhymes, and it's true. That humanity, period, he said, when people don't understand something or don't know of it, they'll either kill it or demonize it. And that's so true, man. If you got time, Jason, you can come up. I've been wanting to speak to you about these trees and stuff, and what do you think your speculation is on these Titan trees if you're not busy? You're like one of the only people that are on that level. I don't know anyone else who thinks about these Titan trees like I do. Let me see if I have good pictures. I don't know if I organize my pictures good. Let me see. Come on. Sometime fucking today. No photos yet. What the fuck you talking about, you fucking scumbag? I don't know. I can't find none. I'll be looking forever. Ouch. But I do have tons of like I was working on a beautiful flat earth / other things video, and my last phone broke. I lost all, I mean, I already had over an hour of pictures and everything. Man, it took a few days for me to get so many pictures together, and then I had to put them in order of like different cosmologies, and it don't matter because it's gone. But I'm gonna work on another one. I want to add like all the cosmologies, then I want to put the Titan trees, and then I want to put 1,000,000 reasons to prove there's no curvature, you know, to show evidence. Because I don't need a book, I don't need the Bible, I don't need no math equations, I don't need none of that to go outside, you know, and climb up to the highest hill I could find in the area in the circumference and fucking do a 360 turn of my eyes. And yeah, but anyway, what's up, Jason? What's up? I reckon the earth is a tree. That's why they're called countries. I do too. I forgot what cosmology had the huge tree and there was levels to it. That's what I think we're living on. We're laying on a tree, dude. Man, what happened to Lonnie? Maybe Jason's at work. You're not muted. Why don't we hear you? Is it me? Hello? You're not muted. We can't hear you, Jason, if you're trying to speak. Your halo isn't lighting up either.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, now we hear you.
Yeah, slight technical issue there. Sorry. So, how's it going, Charles? You okay?
Yeah. I'm all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thanks. Yeah, I just thought I'd come and say a quick hello.
I'm just grateful this phone call wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, man. I know one thing. I'm scared to get older. The way, by the time I'm old, in another 40 years, the people that are going to be taking care of me, they're not even born yet. And the way societies are being groomed, we're fucked.
Well, yeah. I try not to think all doom and gloom, though, but it's harder than that sometimes, isn't it? Do you know that map we were looking at, Charles? The big one?
Yeah.
There's an Australian channel called Autodidactic.
The Urbano Monty map?
Yeah, that one, yeah. There's an Australian channel, right? This guy called Autodidactic, and about 2 days.
I watch Autodidactic.
Well, about 2 days after I showed you that map, he did like a special on that map. About 2 days after me, and you looked at it.
Yeah, I've seen Autodidactic use that map before. It's a good map, but
yeah,
a lot of Globers will say that map's full of shit. I think they're full of shit.
Well,
because Urbano Monty is a professional map maker, and the kings and queens use him to make maps for them. So he can't be that retarded.
No, I mean, you'd be risking your life in some occasions by making shit up, wouldn't you? You know? The thing is, it's not just the Globers can make that argument against that map, and anybody can really, but I don't know. It's the detail in it is mind-boggling, really. If it's made up, you know, I think there's got to be something to it. To be honest, have you heard of that thing called the Boyer manuscript? It's like a book with all these strange animals and plants in it, and they don't know. It's like a medieval thing. So some people say it's just like a hoax or whatever, but it's got loads of animals and plants in it that we don't know about. A bit like what are on that map, basically. That's my point.
You ever seen on the map they got blemmies? Like blemmies look like Gumby.
Yeah. They're the ones with the big foot, are they?
The blemmies are the creatures with eyes on where our nipples would be.
Oh yeah. And there's one with like one big.
Remember
one big
Gumby?
Foot. No,
look at Gumby and look at a blemmy, and
I don't know what Gumby. I don't know what Gumby.
That's where I think they got Gumby from, in my opinion. But I think those were like, I think there was creatures like that with a big foot. A lot of them are genetic manipulation.
Yeah, it's strange how they're on there. It is.
Right.
It's strange how they're mixed with like real creatures as well. Yeah. But there's another map, a Hyperborea, which shows that pygmies live in one portion of it. It's clearly labelled pygmies. And I think they had their blemmy things on that as well. There's a lot of dog heads on these maps. Dog people.
Oh, the Canaanites?
Well, yeah, call them what you will, but yeah, those types. Somebody told me that St. Christopher was a dog head.
Yeah, I got pictures of them. Yup. St. Christopher, I looked it up.
That's true.
I don't know how true. He could have been a Canaanite. Oh my God, what the fuck? You know, this is a bad day, man. Like anything I do seems to just fuck with me. I'm trying to fucking pack a bowl here. My bowl falls apart and falls into ashes. Like, what the fuck? It's all your fault, God. I see you up there in the clouds. Think it's funny. Wait till I come up there. You're fucked. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I want to see if I could find that PDF on the Australian Aboriginals. It might have been in my old phone, but where it talks about the Titan trees and they used to climb it and meet their ancestors. When I found that, I was so amped up. And then I was reading another PDF on, I remember I looked up the Shaolin monks. Well, I think it was, I looked up the Shaolin temples before Vietnam, because Vietnam, they destroyed a lot of temples there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Laos as well.
And there was temples that held thousands of years of monks' knowledge, and it was destroyed almost. A lot of it was. And by that war in Vietnam, when it was all for opium, they couldn't just take the opium. They had to destroy all these temples. And I think these wars, too, these so-called wars, I think both sides sit down at a table and be like, you know, agree to something. Like both sides know, you know, it's to destroy temples and.
Yeah, I think there's only one side. It's us and them, isn't it? They just pretend to be fragmented into groups, but it's all one government, man. And in, you know, Laos, which is next to Vietnam, I think, apparently there was more ordnance dropped on Laos than was dropped in the Second World War in total or something. And all in one little area. It's a place called the Plain of Jars, and there's these like great big like weird jars all over the place, and they bombed the shit out of it for some reason. Like they really wanted it gone off the map.
Oh damn! I forgot to show you something. when I was coming home from work the other morning, I seen in the snow up West Main Street, it said Dom was here. I shit you not, man. I said, I gotta take a picture of this. I'm thinking, I don't know any Dom in this area. I'm like, yo, let me find out Dom's in Connecticut. It says Dom was here in the snow. I shit you not, man. Wait, Dom ain't here. I'll show you tomorrow the picture. I'm going to download I got much more architecture pictures to show, but
yeah, I did start going through and saving some myself, but I've only got a few at the moment. I'll leave it till I've got like 20 or so.
I got to go to Walmart. Well, next time I get a donation of 20, 25 bucks, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get me a fucking terabyte card. I think they're like 20 bucks. That ain't bad. I'm gonna get it for my phone because I do my videos on my phone. I have this app where and I've been using it for about 7 years. I won't change it because I'm familiar with it and it works good. And I need more memory. Out of 128 gigabytes, I got 127.5 used, and it's starting to slow my phone up. So I need to get a terabyte. That'll be sweet. That'll be enough where I could make an hour, 2 hours. I can't even do an hour video because of the memory so much. At least with a terabyte, it won't matter the memory. I could fucking hold it down.
Yeah.
So that's on my list for investments, to invest into my business, because I'm the LLC. You know, I also learned that you can open up an LLC and become your company's employee. Oh.
What's an LLC?
And it's a license for your company. It'd be like, you know, you're pretty much registering your name.
Right.
You know, if I put Charles Waz is my company, because I am the company. You could put your name. You could put Fuck Your Mom. That's the name of my company. You could put Pimple Juice. Whatever. Whatever you want to name your company, you can use your legal name. But that's my goal. I am going to put my name as the LLC and employ myself, and then maybe employ others. I'm learning about trust funds, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I have no children. My gramps had a trust fund for me, but unfortunately my mother spent damn near all of it. I only was left with $3,000, and I had to wait till I was 18 to get it. So I ended up buying me a car with it, and that car was a bucket. I bought a lemon.
A lemon.
And it was bad. And I love that car too, man. My first car was a Buick Skylark, I think, or a Regal, one of those two. But all these, like, I don't know if I want to call them tricks. Like, there's so many things. This lady said she was paying her rent with fucking at the post office. There's stamps that you pay your rent with. And I tried looking into it. She was like, look up the 18-cent Stamp Act. And I'm trying to find it. I'm like, what's this nutty lady talking about? I don't know, but I do. She did mention, like, the light bill and gas bill and stuff. We're not supposed to pay. See, I think they didn't want the free energy from Tesla, because think about it. If they're getting the electricity from the ether, that's God's, right? We were not supposed to pay for anything God-given. But considering they put generators into play, now they're charging because they're generating electricity, more or less.
Yeah.
Right? With these so-called generators. Right.
At one
They're
point,
not
they
getting
would
it
have
from
had
the
to.
ether.
Yeah, but at one point they would have had to dismantle that system as well. You know, the old system where basically people weren't paying for it. You know, at some point they would have had to dismantle that and then persuaded people to start paying for it. Either that, or you had that intervening disaster. What call it what you will, you know, and that crippled people, and then they just basically capitalized on that.
You seen the pictures, dude? I got a picture. Damn, I got to find the video. I think it's in my laptop on a chip, the video. And it's a video of, damn, do I have it? I'm trying to think. If I have it stored. The video of, I'm going to find it and show you on, I don't want to, oh, I know exactly where it is. All right, let me see. I gotta go to John Levy's channel. Or John Levi.
Can't beat John Levi.
You're right about that, Candy. And that's what I'm saying. If the free energy, so-called, right? If they were pulling the energy from the ether, that's coming from God. But Just like the fruit, if it grew naturally, that's from the Mother Earth and God or whatever you want to call it, right? But now you got people that say they own the land, which, yeah, okay. And they're planting the seed physically in the ground. Like, but we used to have wild blueberries and raspberries up here near the res because me and my mother would go up there. Even near Pygmy Village, there's wild blueberries and shit. Not anymore. The times I went to the res in the summertime, there's nothing. I don't know what happened or how the fuck they got rid of these little. Maybe the bears ate them. I hope so. You ever see a bear eat like 60 handfuls of blueberries and then take a dookie? It's fucking death-defying.
I've never seen a bear in the wild. We don't have them in the UK.
Me neither, but I've seen videos, and I seen a video of a mama bear shit out parasites. They were as long as a car. I shit you not. It was running away, the bear, with parasites hanging out his butthole. And these parasites were long, bro. Long. I'm telling you, as long as a car.
That's a little bit too much information.
That shit had serpents coming out of its ass. It's terrible. It's fucked up for the bears, man.
I can imagine.
Imagine those things are inside of you. Like, oh my God, I hope there's none inside of me.
And you can't just drop the word Pygmy Village into conversation without me asking about it. What's Pygmy Village then?
Hold on, I'll explain it in a second. Hold on. Bears with... Man, I'll tell you a few stories about Pygmy, including how my mother used to scare the shit out of me with that.
So what is it?
All right, let's see. Oh my God, dude, this is detrimental. Right out the bong bong. Oh my God. I'm gonna wait till you see this, yo. I shit you not, it's like a snake.
I'm not certain whether I want to.
So Pygmy Village. Let me see if I could get a picture of it. Hold on. So
I'll take it. It's in Connecticut.
Pygmy Village. Of course not. It's not gonna do. I gotta write it. Pig. How do I spell pygmy? Pygmy.
P-Y-G.
Oh, it's Y. I knew it. Okay. P-Y. Pygmy Village. New Britain. Connecticut. Let's see. Wow, people have made videos because you could approach it from two different ways. Let me see if I can get the map. Okay, hell yeah, I got the map right here. Here we go. Perfect. I need that picture. All right. Oh, these pictures are perfect, so I could tell stories. Okay. Way better. All right, this is the right one. All right.
The land was donated to circus midgets. That's even
Well,
strange.
you looked it up?
No, I'm just reading the chat at the side. Somebody saying that it was donated to circus midgets. I suppose
Yeah.
Easy
So-
mistaken for pygmies.
Let me pull some pictures up to show you how scary this shit would be at night. My mother would. We would go up there to sit. Now, I don't know if my mother was smoking joints back then or why we would go sit up there, but that's what everyone else would do, is party up there in the 80s. Oops. Because I remember going up there in the late 80s, you know, from when I was like 6, 7, all the way up to, 11, 12, 13. Hold on. What the fuck? All right, let me do this first. All right, here's the map. So there's Pygmy Village up there. Why wouldn't they do it like this? Metacomet Trail. All right, you see the 94, is that? Or 84? Hold on, I think that's 84.
Yeah, looks like 84.
Yeah, 84. So where 84 is, you could pull, you see where you could take a left onto that road. Well, when you go left off of West Main Street, that's where 84 is, West Main. You take a left onto Long Swamp Road.
Yeah, good name.
'Cause that's where Pygmy Village is. Or you could go the back way to come in. Wait a minute. I'm just thinking where. Yeah, because the old quarry, that's where they have shootouts. I mean, target practice for the police, but I don't know if they still do it there. Because I could remember we would be on the top of the quarry, and that's where the Nike base was. And you could hear them in the quarry shooting. But it wasn't just police back in the day. You know, people would go up there and party and shoot, and it was different in the 80s and 90s. Police weren't militarized. The police back then didn't go out and fuck with people. If people heard gunshots back then, it was different. People were all Second Amendment proud and shit. Now everyone's a pussy. Not everyone, but it's like everyone's in everyone's business nowadays. It was just better times back then. But anyway, people would go up there to party and all types of shit. Let me get some more pictures. So, hold on, I'll put this picture up. This is how it looks with land. This is coming up the Plainville way. Why are they showing that? There's a mountain you hike up to. And it has like an overlook. Let me see, it's not here. I'm trying to think if that's the road fucking, because it don't show the part where you could enter. And I've showed this the last time I talked about Pygmy. This is Pinnacle Heights that used to be there. It's a huge project. I mean, man, Pinnacle Heights was the shit. I got chased out of here too, man. I remember. Hey, white boy, right? I was young. I think I was like 11 or 12. I got chased out. But no more Pinnacle, man. They knocked down blocks of these projects. There's only a little piece left of it. That's like across the street was the other. It's like, I'm gonna see if I can find old pictures of how big it was, an aerial pic.
So what, were they real miniature houses then or something? I'm confused.
I think, yeah. I think there was miniature doorways and stuff because I didn't know it was housing for the circus. She's right because I had read about all, you know, and that's one thing I did read about, that it was housing for a circus too. But also Nike base used to be there, a military missile site in New Britain, Connecticut, and Mount Pleasant projects, I think, was the housing for that. And maybe Pinnacle also, because Pinnacle is on the other end. Like you could enter Pygmy Village and through a one road and across the highway, or you can enter from another end. There's 3 different ways you can enter this fucking.
Hold on a minute. I've got to say this, because if you put together these details of a military base, a village for small people, you're halfway towards a conspiracy theory here already, aren't you?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
The small people, you know, could
be grays.
I don't know how it looked back then. Like if the Nike base was there, it's hard to explain. If you enter from the Pinnacle side, there's some house that was up there. I remember. Now my mouth's dry.
That could be the cover
There was
story.
this white kid's uncle that lived up there. It's spooky up there. I'm gonna show you some pictures. To me, it was always spooky up there. The guy had like 20 abandoned cars he was stripping, fucking, you know, and it just looked like the hills have eyes type people would have lived in there.
Right.
And I used to wonder how many bodies were dumped up here. Wait, I'm gonna show you the pictures now. I'm getting them already. How these roads look. And back, I did it again. What the fuck? And back in the days, dummies and, you know, they would throw trash. These roads are clean compared to the other part. If you enter, put it this way, you could enter the Nike base side. I should have better maps to show everyone. I'll get some prepared so I could really tell a good story of. I should do a thing on Pygmy. So look, this is when you start to enter the guy's house. You would start to see cars like this on the side. And you still got to go up more of this road, and then there's a house up. It's like damn, and there's all sorts of like piles of wood. Man, imagine this shit at nighttime. And this is right here. This is entering Pygmy Village. This is Pygmy Village, which is in back of the Nike base. Now, I don't know if this, I always wondered. I don't think it does, because I remember driving up this road with a bunch of logs. I was doing tree removal, and I didn't know the guy's family owned the property up there. His uncle or his something. But we would dump fucking logs up there. And I didn't see a road come around to connect to Pygmy, because if you went up that road, let's say you go up this road, you can end up on the other part that you can enter on the other side. You get what I'm saying? It'll be like a U almost. It's hard to explain. I'm gonna show from the aerial footage, and yeah, it would be like a U, but they're not connected. I don't think. Maybe now. I don't know if the city. These pictures are probably from the 90s. Because now, I think Pygmy Village might be gone. Because they put, I think it's hot, like they built some condos up there. And there's a fucking supermarket. Before it was nothing. There used to be a shopping center at the bottom of the road. And when you turn up this, it's like, man, I wish I had pictures.
I'm intrigued by it. I've never heard of anything like that ever. You know, especially built for small people. Maybe they built them for aliens at the base. I don't know. But that is quite a good idea.
Is the entrance.
I wonder if it obviously costs less as well, doesn't it? It's one of the advantages of being a small person, a midget. Your house costs less. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna get better pictures, Jason, so I could really show you how it looks, and then you'll say, okay. because the way the Nike base would have been set up. And then that's another thing I want to talk about is the quarries that were around here. I can remember, I'm going to show you pictures of this. It's probably a shopping center there now, but before it was just like an empty lot. You could tell they're scraping this like big giant, I'll call it a wall, but it looks like a big fucking stone building was there, and you could see the scrape marks. I can remember them blowing it with dynamite. And I thought to myself, there's literally a line of these fucking quarries at Tilcon Tommaso. And they were blasting for a while because they would fill up train compartments with the fucking gravel. So my question is, what were they blasting away and what were they been hiding? Because these fucking quarries or pits that they were, I'll call them pits. Yeah, a quarry is a pit that they've been, you know, they go out to Bristol, Farmington, and it seems Tilcon has, what do I want to call them? Yards lined up. I'm gonna get an aerial view and show you. I think they're blasting a ley line or buildings or something that was on these ley lines. It's crazy now that I think about it, because
you know, I can't think of any direct examples. But you mentioned John Levy, right? And one of the John Levy things, he was showing these like out of place, like monuments, for want of a better word, like just in the middle of nowhere in America. Like not really with any access either. The one was like an obelisk, just in the middle of this forest, and there was another one, and you also said about Mount Rushmore. Apparently, what was at Mount Rushmore before they did that, because that's in the middle of nowhere. Apparently, quite off the beaten track, almost like they were connected at a different time. If you know what I mean. Loon Lake.
Oops, I spelled his name wrong.
That's a good name for a road.
I'm gonna see if I can find this video. What the fuck?
If you're going to put this video on, Charles, I'm going to, I'll be watching it in the background because I've actually got some things to do. I just thought I'd come and say hello. I will be watching it though if you put it on. I've just got to cook some food, things. But when I've got it together to get a few photos in one folder, I'll come back and share them with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off myself then because I got to do a few things. Then I'm gonna save that video for next time. Maybe I'll go live later.
Okay.
Because I want to show a few theories I got. I think a couple pictures I have the old tech on it, and I think in one picture or drawing he was showing that it was on. And John Levy has this video. I have it saved somewhere. I know I do. That is showing the free energy tech that it was on, and it creates like, I don't want to say a halo, but it creates these
yeah, I've seen that
pieces
video.
of light. You ever seen that? In the light, it's like
it creates, about that video.
You could hear it. You could hear the fucking thing is on. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. But I
have seen another one similar to that, and I've got to say, it looks more real. I know that sounds really bad to say because I'm no expert, but it kind of looks more real than the other one. I think John Levy showed that as well.
I got a video of Russia. In Russia, I think I screenshot it too, but I saved the video and it shows the old, I don't know if we want to call them roads. Yeah, I say the road. They were ripping up some of the road, and under it were these giant metal, I don't want to call them horseshoes, but they were under the road. Like either the road used to heat up, or it was the free energy transfer. the way they looked.
It could have been like a
It was
monorail or
metal,
something.
all these metal, like,
Yeah, it could have been a magnetic thing, couldn't it? Running on.
yeah, it looked like a chain. But you ever see those non-slip mats in restaurants? Those black non-slip mats, and they have holes in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it looked like, but metal under the road, and it was just perfect fit. And they think it was to transfer free energy everywhere. It could have been.
Yeah,
I think so. I
well,
think
many
the
things
old
you can
world is
imagine this-
marvelous.
Yeah,
Imagine
makes
this
you like-
realm with them big trees and just beautiful architecture everywhere, clean water. You know, people are living 300 years because they use oscillators and stuff to keep their body in tune. Like, I could see such a better environment, and then you get some
Total
guy
different
who's
mindset as
fucking
well.
jealous and evil, and he wants it all for himself. That's all it takes.
Yeah, I'll get you on that
But
one.
anyway,
Okay, if I don't catch you later, I'll catch you soon, yeah?
all right. Have a good day.
Thanks for your time again, Charles.
Thank you, Jason, and peace to the chat. Thank you, Yahweh and
Okay,
Dom, for coming up. I'm about to jump off like Chris Cross and fucking get lost. I need to put this rhyme together. I've been writing like a mad person. I'm about to damn, I should show the beat that I'm gonna use. The C. You have a good day too, Candy. Cheers. That's what I'm gonna start saying. Cheers, eyes wide shut. I want to anyway, it don't matter. I'm gonna try to get a track done. I told Hurricane I would put my verse down first because I I still have a song I'm working on, but I still want to give that more time. I have things I want to add to it, but it's going to be on the same album as the song I'm about to put together. But anyway, no one, whatever. I'm out. Have a great day.